Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 204, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. The NHL trade deadline has officially expired. Does it mean that we won't get some trades that have trickled in? They could still make the announcements past that 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock Central deadline. But for now, this deadline has passed. And
Blues did great, right? They made some moves?
You know what? The Blues did not make any moves.
That we know of.
Okay. I don't think they will make any moves based on the fact that they've already released their lineup for tonight's game against Anaheim. That's where Jamie is right now.
Anthony.
But you never know.
Okay. A trade is fun.
A trade is definitely fun. Jamie, I can't imagine that you're surprised by this. You have kind of predicted that the Blues will stand pat at the deadline for, I don't know, the last couple days or so.
Yeah, I just didn't see a deal that would make sense. You know, the only things that were out there were those awful rumors out of Toronto media that Braden Shen was going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. And they also wanted Colton Parayko and Jordan Binnington up in Toronto, too. Like, could you be a little bit more unrealistic? But either way, I just didn't see it happening. And you know what? Especially after last game here in L.A. is the quotes from Jordan Binnington, where he talked about loving this team and wanting to do it with these guys and all that stuff. Guys, Army always literally says, the team will tell me what I need to do at the trade deadline. And not only do they tell them what their play, because they're playing fantastic hockey right now, Jordan Binnington literally told him with his words, like, I really don't want to shake up in this locker room. Now, the only caveat that I thought might be a little bit in play was the fact that Colton Parayko now out for a minimum of, 6 weeks with the knee surgery or the scope that he's having to have. I thought there was an outside chance of the Blues maybe kicking the tires on bringing in Luke Shen, who was in Nashville, went to Pittsburgh, and then was in Pittsburgh. Now he's a Winnipeg Jet. But I thought, right-handed shot defenseman, veteran player, tough as nails, too. I thought, you know what, it's a good stopgap. Now, when everybody's healthy, you have an overcrowded blue line, but you know what, you figure that out at the time. But, that wasn't in play that I know of. So, Matthew Kessel gets recalled. He'll get the duty along with Tyler Tucker to fill in that last spot. And then a lot of weight is going to be put on the rest of the blue line to continue playing the way they have been. But, yeah, not shocked, guys. I honestly didn't see anything that made any sense. And it certainly didn't make any sense to liquidate a whole bunch of young players, draft picks or whatever, to acquire somebody that may or may not be here even next year.
Luke Shen, by the way, as Jamie mentioned, Luke Shen goes to the Jets. The Penguins receive a 2026 second-round pick as well as a 2027 fourth-round pick. Some other bigger moves that occurred. Mikko Rantanen was the big trade today. The Stars acquired the forward from the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Hurricanes got Logan Stankoven, 2 first-round picks in 2026 and 2027, and 2 third-round picks in 26 and 27. So the Hurricanes got quite the package for Mikko Rantanen. The Stars are now loaded. That's a cup contender. There's really no doubt about it. And they probably were before the deal, but now even more so.
The Hurricanes just got him in January, and so to flip him that quickly, I thought that's kind of strange, right?
Well, Jamie, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, what happened there, guys, is Mikko Rantanen actually never wanted to leave Colorado, ever. He wanted to be there. Now, his agent and him, I don't know which one did it wrong, but they played a game of chicken with the Avalanche over this contract negotiation because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. He was going to be an unrestricted free agent following this season. So the Avs obviously wanted to extend him, or you have to trade him at that point because you're not going to have a player of that magnitude and not maximize it either by having him on your team or through the trade avenue. And so they played this game of chicken, and the Avs said, you know what? We're just not having it. We can go get, Marty Necas, who's a hell of a player, add him to our roster, and he's with our team for the foreseeable future under contract already. And we're going to trade Mikko Rantanen. He went to Carolina. He didn't like it. Didn't want to be in Carolina. First of all, he didn't have a no-trade clause to protect him from going to certain teams. He did not like the Carolina Hurricanes for whatever reason. It wasn't a good fit for him. You can tell by his stats it wasn't a good fit for him or the Hurricanes for that matter. And so the Hurricanes had to make a decision, the same as the Avalanche. He wasn't going to come to a contract extension with that team. So what do? You got to flip him. And they got Stankoven back. He's a great young player, and they got a bunch of picks back. So I think that the Avs maximized their trade with Rantanen, and I think the Hurricanes did the best they could of maximizing that trade with Rantanen. And to your point, Anthony, yeah, the Dallas Stars are a bit of a friggin' wagon right now. That's going to be a tough team to play in the playoffs. But that's what Jim Nill's been trying to create there. Ever since he got there, he's been trying to create a Stanley Cup champion, and they've fallen short. They got to the conference or second round against us. Then they got to the Stanley Cup final the one year. Didn't maximize that against the Lightning. So now he's obviously wanting it to be this year.
I think the interesting thing when it comes to the trade deadline, we're thinking like, the Blues didn't really do anything. Well, they did, though, earlier in the season. They got Cam Fowler to bolster that defense.
Right.
And then Nick Leddy just came back, and we know that getting an injured player back is like making a trade. So really, you got two defense before the trade deadline. The Blues were just early.
You say that all the time. Getting a player back from injury is like making a trade. Marshy, I'm glad you brought that up.
And the Blues were playing better.
Yep. He's not wrong. And these are your words.
He's not wrong about the Fowler trade.
He's not wrong about your words either.
I think he is. I think he literally is.
I don't think so.
Because as regular listeners know, I hate it when people say getting an injured player is like making a trade. It's not. You already had him.
Which is weird because why would you say it then, Anthony?
I'm trying to figure it out. But it is kind of like making a trade. If a guy hadn't played all year.
You guys. Yeah. No, it's not, though. It's not. You already had him on your roster.
Back for the playoff push.
Listen.
You didn't have him for 6 whole weeks, if that's the case.
But you had him initially.
That's like making a trade.
Nope.
It's injecting some energy into the lineup.
Nope. You already had that. You already had that ingredient in your fridge. All right, just because you weren't using it, I mean, it wasn't there. All right, you didn't go to the store to get an additional ingredient. You just had that same ingredient in the fridge. Okay. No moves for the Blues. I haven't seen. What's that?
Whatever you say, Anthony.
Oh, thank you. No moves for the Blues thus far. We haven't seen anything come across. Our guy Jeremy Rutherford will certainly let us know if there's something. But looks like the Blues are not going to make a move at the trade deadline. Not overly surprising. We do want your reaction to this, though. What are your thoughts? You okay with it? Are you ticked off? Are you somebody that this just proves that they should have been? If you weren't going to do anything, you should have traded away your better players. I don't care. Or in your words, however you want to say it. But what are your thoughts on the NHL trade deadline for the Blues as it looks like they're going to stand pat? We'll continue our discussion with Jamie, who is not. He wasn't with us yesterday to kind of break down his thoughts on the Colton Parayko injury and that impact. We also have Doug Armstrong's press conference coming up at 2:30. So we will air the Doug Armstrong press conference in its entirety right here on the Blues Radio Network at 2:30. But more Blues talk with Jamie, who'll give us his thoughts on the Colton Parayko injury next on 101 ESPN. Let me tell you why you're going to want to go with my friends at Mosby Building Arts. We've all had situations before where you hire a company and you think they're going to do a great job on a remodel for your home. For us in the Stalter household, we wanted new hardwood floors. We had just moved in. It was about 13 years ago now, but we had just moved in, and we went with a company that we thought was trustworthy, and we went with a company that we thought we were getting a good deal on, and it wound up being a bit of a disaster. Initially, the floors looked good, but then we started to look around, and there was like a chip out of one of the doors that they had damaged. That they didn't do a good job around some of the corners, and this isn't nitpicking stuff. This is things that they had promised and they didn't deliver. And then when we had them out to kind of do the final inspection, the owner of the company was incredibly rude, and it wound up being a nightmare. It didn't come back to fix anything, and it was very disappointing. But this is one of the reasons why you go with Mosby Building Arts. They don't stop halfway through the job. They do give honest pricing up front. Mosby Building Arts, the work is of the highest quality. Their reputation precedes itself. We have worked with Mosby Building Arts in our home, and we were blown away by just how professional they were. But when they said they were going to do something, they did it right. And when they did run into issues installing some of the doors, they figured it out. They made sure that it was right. Everything was up to code, and we were thrilled with the work that they did. They know how to do the job well. Friendly, dedicated people. Give Mosby Building Arts a call right now. Don't risk hiring the wrong team. 314-909-1800 or visit callmosby.com to schedule that free consultation today and see the difference for yourself. Again, Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues take on the Ducks tonight. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9. The NHL trade deadline has come and passed. It looks like for now that the Blues are standing pat. We'll keep you updated on that. We'll also have Doug Armstrong addressing the media at 2:30, so stay tuned for that as he'll have his press conference discussing all things St. Louis Blues. Coming up next, though, we're going to dive into Jamie's thoughts on the Colton Parayko injury. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. So Jamie wasn't on with us yesterday. So we spent a lot of time talking about the Colton Parayko injury because it broke right before our show. Jamie, your initial thoughts on the Parayko injury and then what has led us to where we are now, which it looks like, at least for the time being, Nick Leddy's going to get bumped up to that top line.
Yeah, man, the timing is just awful on the Colton Parayko injury. It's such a freak little play, too, in overtime where he kind of catches a rut and he tries to regain his balance. And then, however he fell, it was awkward and he injures his knee. And he's your number one defenseman. He's one of the top 5 defensemen in the NHL right now. And there's no way to replace that. Like I said, I thought maybe Army would go get Luke Schenn just to kind of plug the holes a little bit, but you're not replacing a number one defenseman like Colton Parayko. So it's a good thing that Army did go get Cam Fowler when he did. I mean, that move has certainly paid off a ton for the Blues recently. But now, with the injury, I mean, can you imagine not having Cam Fowler on your D-corps? Like,
no, right.
Nuts.
Good call.
It'd be brutal.
Yep.
So now with Nick Leddy being bumped up there, that's 2 left-handed shots. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate that. But both guys are really, really good skaters, veteran players. I'm pretty sure Tyler Tucker will find his way back in the lineup with Ryan Suter on the bottom pair. But, yeah, it stinks. It's bad timing. The Blues are on a roll right now. They've only lost 1 game since the Four Nations, or 1 game in regulation, rather, since the Four Nations tournament has happened. And it stinks when you lose a player of that magnitude, but hey, no one said it was going to be easy. If the Blues are going to get in this year, it's going to be because they simply just outwilled their opponents and outwilled other teams in the standings. And then if they do manage to sneak in, you get a guy like Colton Parayko back for a playoff push. Who knows what that could lead to, but it's a lot of pressure on the rest of the squad for sure.
If you're just joining us, the trade deadline was at 2 o'clock Central Time, and the Blues did not make any moves. We will listen to the Doug Armstrong press conference coming up at the bottom of the hour. So at 2:30, we will carry the Doug Armstrong press conference, but the Blues did not make a move at the deadline. It has been confirmed now that Brad Marchand is heading to the Florida Panthers.
Cool.
So the Panthers loading up for another run at this cup. And using, I'm sure, some of that LTIR money.
Is there a reason, Jamie, we were talking a lot about the LTIR with Parayko. Is there a reason the Blues have not done that with him?
Not yet. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. They don't require to do it. Like, you can wait for 15, 20 days and then put somebody on LTIR and recoup that salary cap money. But there are some rules and regulations as to who and how many guys you can have on there for how long. I don't know enough about all of that to tell you, but those people who are in charge of the salary cap with the Blues are much smarter. Ryan Miller is much smarter than me when it comes to salary cap, so there must be a really good reason. I think they would have used it if they had to go acquire a player that was $4 or $5 million, as far as a salary cap hit is concerned. But if they didn't, and they don't require the fact of using the LTIR money, then I guess why bother, maybe?
Yeah.
I said because he's going to be back sooner than they predicted. That's my.
That would be great.
It's my thought process. I
So
told
I
these
had my
guys.
knee-
You have as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Carey. We got a little delay here, buddy. But I've had my knee scoped twice, and I got back quickly, man. Like they had me moving around and stuff like 3-4 days after the surgery. You're moving it, you're walking, you're on the treadmill at like very slow pace, and then I was skating probably 3 weeks after the surgery. But there's varying degrees of what's going on. I'm not gonna sit here and claim that Colton Parayko will be back in 3 or 4 weeks. I do know that I was back at about 4 weeks back on the ice. But that was my particular procedure, my surgery. So hopefully he has the same recovery as I had.
See?
Yeah,
That's right,
Carey,
Jamie. They were. Oh my goodness! If you'd have been in here yesterday, I had to be the voice of reason. I had to be the person to calm these two guys down. Anthony threw a chair into the wall. I said, "Hey, brother, we can't afford to keep doing that. We don't want to tear it." Marcy was screaming out the window, yelling at people on Olive, and I'm like, "They can't even hear you, brother. Like, it's okay. We're okay. It's gonna be okay." And here we are today. I think they're better, but I don't know. I hope they are. You guys okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're good.
Right.
Absolutely.
Anthony, you got to be careful with those chairs because as it is, they already fall apart on us.
That's really true. Yeah.
Go ahead and
This
ruin
one
a
here is
chair.
ripped. The one I threw. It was ripped before I threw it.
And I just don't think they're going to get replaced.
Yeah.
So,
we are going to break because we have to get to the Doug Armstrong press conference. But just reporting now from our snake pit, Dr. Zander reporting that BK traded to Moose Jaw, one of the local radio stations out in Moose Jaw. BK has been dealt to. So don't know what 101 ESPN is getting back in return for BK. But a blanket? Mm-hmm. I don't think a blanket can host a radio show. Let's get to Doug Armstrong's press conference next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We will be going to the Doug Armstrong press conference in a moment. So as soon as he takes the podium or, goes on stage there, we'll have an opportunity to go listen into what Doug Armstrong had to say about the trade deadline. And if you're wondering, why are the Blues holding a press conference even though they didn't make a trade today? They always do this. This is just customary that about a half hour after the NHL trade deadline, Doug Armstrong will speak to the media.
It's just good business.
It's just good business. You got to tell the fans.
Even if you didn't do anything, why didn't you? Oh, well, here's why.
You got to tell your stockholders what's going on.
Being transparent is important in relationships, and there is a relationship between the fans and the organization. Now, there are other organizations that may not truly understand that relationship, and they don't feel the need to be transparent, but transparency is important.
Like the Browns.
Cleveland Browns, for sure.
Like the Cleveland Browns you were thinking of.
No, not the Browns.
No? You're thinking of another team?
Maybe.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Maybe a little bit closer than Cleveland.
The Bears. Yeah, they got a shaky organization at times. Proud one.
They get better, though.
Yeah, they certainly are.
Yeah.
They certainly are. All right, we are about to go to the Doug Armstrong press conference here in about a minute or so. No, right now. We're going to go there right now. Here's Doug Armstrong live at the podium.
Obviously, over the last couple of weeks, I think, coming out of the Four Nations event, where our schedule was, we were very active in seeing what we could do. As our team started to progress, we not a holding pattern, but they kept playing better, and it made it more. We wanted to wait and see how they did, and then we got through that last game. And the last couple of days, we were in contact with teams on some hockey trades. You look at a lot of the deals that are done this time of year for unrestricted free agents. We had a couple of those in Fask and Suter, but we didn't have a lot of, some of the primetime deals that are made for guys for multiple assets were UFAs. We didn't have that style of player this year. And so at the end of the day, we talked to a lot of people. We bandied around a lot of ideas, but we weren't involved in anything that made sense for us. And then when you also look at, we were talking about it in our room a little bit too, the last couple of years, those depth UFA signings, players, there's not a lot of movement in that. We saw that last year with our group, and we saw it again this year with our group. And so at the end of the day, we ended up moving forward with the team that's playing excellent hockey right now.
Doug, this is Jeremy, did you look around and consider any changes in terms of bringing players in to supplement this group, that's close to the playoffs?
Not really, JR. Just we didn't view that it's still an uphill battle. We do the analytical equation where we're at. I think if the eighth place team stays on its current winning percentage, we have to play around .650 hockey to just tie them or get 1 point ahead of them, which is a tall task. And we weren't looking to use assets that we've acquired over the last couple of years, young players, for a stopgap. Anything we would have done would have been more of a hockey trade, and we didn't see a lot of those happen today that we were involved in or could be involved in. So we weren't looking for a Band-Aid this year.
Doug, in terms of not being able to make any of those hockey trades, did the fact that some of these full no trade clauses turn to modifieds in the summer, does that give you more flexibility in the summer to make that type of deal if you want to do it?
Sure does. Obviously, when you negotiate with unrestricted free agents, there's a give and take on all different things, from no movement clauses to no trade clause to signing bonuses, and the ones that we do have an expiration date on the full no trades, and we're getting into that window with some of our veteran players, and it does open up the door if we decide to do certain things with less restrictions.
Doug, what do you make of some of the kind of heavyweight moves a lot of those teams in your division made, and kind of what were the prices like out there just in the market?
Well, it's hard because we weren't, you look at some of the trades that happened like the Colorado trade with the Islanders or the Dallas trade with Carolina. These are unrestricted free agents. We didn't have that style of player, and we weren't looking to bring one of those players in to this team this year without having them signed. And quite honestly, bringing one of those players in this year, doesn't make sense for where we're at. So we weren't really involved. We did, as the day was going on, we're doing our jobs, but we're also hockey fans, and we're looking, wow, what a first-round matchup it's going to be in our division. What a first-round matchup it's going to be between Florida, Toronto, or Tampa, Colorado, Winnipeg, Dallas. It's going to be great hockey. The league is going to be the massive benefactor of it, but someone's going to be really unhappy 14 days after the season ends.
Doug, this is Lou. It's obviously been the best run of the squad here in the last couple of weeks. Did you need to see something of significance like this earlier in the year if you were going to change the makeup or give them a boost at this?
Yeah. I think that I give the guys a ton of credit coming out of that break. I think I said it right after the break. The players tell us what we're supposed to do, and to their credit, they've really played fantastic hockey right now. And there's a difference, Lou, that we talk about internally. Sometimes we outscore teams, but we don't. You can win the game or outscore somebody. And right now we're winning games. We're beating them on the scoreboard. We're also beating them at the underlying stats. And that's something we haven't done for a while. And I'm really proud of the job that Monty and his staff have done. But ultimately, it's the players that do those things. And they're doing a really good job right now. We got some obviously difficult news with Parayko the other day, quietly having a Norris Trophy type season. He wasn't going to gain enough offensive points to be a finalist in that award because that's how it's voted on by the voters. Who has the most points gets the Norris Trophy, but who has the biggest impact on a team defensively? Colton Parayko's in that category for sure. So we're going to miss him, but I'm very excited for the players because they've done a nice job from our younger players taking charge and being a big part of it to our older players like Fowler and Parayko, and I think Falk is back to playing really good hockey. Shen has played well since Monty's been here, So, and now I see Robert Thomas and Butcher back together, so it gives us some hope moving forward. And one of the things that was frustrating, I would say, is that we could never get 5 or 6 of our top 6 players playing well at the same time. We went through a stretch where Shen's group was leading us, and then Thomas and Butch's group was leading us, and right now they're all playing really well, and that's exciting because we do believe that they can continue to push us, and we want to give them they have the opportunity now, and it's an uphill battle. I'm not naive to think it's not an uphill battle. Certainly with Colton's situation. But I hope they have as much excitement in this as our fans do about what they've accomplished and what we hope they can accomplish by pushing and playing meaningful games and staying on task and not getting frustrated and just staying to what they've done the last couple of weeks.
Hey, Doug, I had 2 questions. I'll start with Parayko since you just brought him up. Did that change the outlook in terms of the deadline today once you got news of that injury?
Not really. It didn't change. Like if Colton was healthy, we still weren't going to move one of our A prospects or our first round pick or anything like that, in one of these deadline deal trades for this year. It gave us pause as again, JR, we just did the math equation. Okay, 545 gets you to 91 points. We got to get to 92. We got to do this. It's an uphill battle with Colton. It's even a bigger uphill battle without him. So when you go to bed, you say, should we look at moving other guys out? But at the end of the day, we talked about a whole host of things, but we just felt that what we could do, we weren't comfortable doing, and what we were comfortable doing, other teams weren't comfortable doing. So we're here where we are today, and we are excited with that, though.
Okay, and also there was interest in Brayden Schenn. How did you approach that decision on whether it was the right thing for the organization to, try and pursue that? Did you ever get close enough where we're close to asking Braden to waive his no trade?
Yeah, I appreciate the question, and I'm just not comfortable talking about any individual negotiation with a team or with the player. I think it's not something we've done in the past, and it's not something I'm comfortable getting into individual players like that. So I appreciate the question. I think I'm just going to take a pass on it.
Doug, I think last year with the Buchnevich stuff, you talked about the high prices that a team would have to meet. Did you kind of have a similar approach this year with some of the guys you have on your roster?
Well, we didn't have the UFA like we did last year. Excuse me, guys. So we set a high price for a UFA. You saw some of the high prices played for UFAs this year. I don't think our ask last year was out of whack, but we also felt that that wasn't until this year either. You know what I mean? So our asking price, we weren't shy in our asking price to do things because that's how we feel about our players. Thank you.
Hey, Doug, Jacob with Channel 4 here. How fast, or maybe not fast at all, did your mind change, or did it change at all as the team started winning out of the break? Like your approach to the trade deadline a month ago compared to how this team is playing now? Yeah,
it gives you pause. Gives you pause when you're playing poorly. I was over in Europe just before the break. We weren't playing great hockey. What we talked about earlier, we outscored Chicago. I don't really think we beat them the game before. Up it's 4 a.m. and I'm watching the game over there, and you're happy that you won, but you don't sleep well knowing that you played well. And I haven't had that feeling since then. We came out, and unfortunately our game won. I thought we played a very good game, gave up a late goal to lose a point and then lost in overtime. But I thought, I felt way better about that loss to Winnipeg than I did about that win against Chicago. And the guys have just built on that every game. Even the Dallas game, we can spend now till the next trade deadline talking about our penalty kill if we want, but it's not very good. But that 5-on-5 game against Dallas, I thought was very good. And so the guys felt that too. And they built off that, and they took it in to the next night and won. So the guys are giving us hope and belief. And, I think Jim has done a great job. They're starting to understand that Jim, the head coach, is different than Jim, the assistant coach. And they're starting to respond to the, I don't want to say tough love, but the understanding that his demeanor changes now with his job title change here in St. Louis, and we're the benefactor of that.
Doug, with Suter, how much of it was you guys needing a defenseman on the back end right now with Parayko out, and how much of it was not having a market out there for him?
I would say those things crossed over the last since the Parayko injury for sure. And as I said, if you look at that the type of players that moved, there wasn't a lot of that style of player, that level of player, and that's not a disparaging thing against Suits at all. He's played every game for us and played very well. But again, you just look at the type of deals that were made, and because of the Parayko injury, moving him for a later round pick, if it was offered at all, wasn't something that made sense to us.
And just on the smaller scale, were there any transactions to the AHL to get guys playoff eligible down there?
Yeah, Bolduc has been papered and right back up. So that's one of our 4 recalls. He doesn't know that yet, so I better let him know. But our goal is to keep him up here and he's playing some great hockey right now. But like what happened with the 4 Nations, at his age, playing hockey is better than training. Playing hockey is better than anything, and we want him to continue to play. We hope that this group pushes and gets us into the playoffs. But if it doesn't, and Springfield's playing, we want to keep him playing as long as possible.
And so is Kessel eligible down there?
No, he's not. We recalled him. We're going to carry 7. I think he's 2 games away from needing waivers again to go down. I expect him to play in at least that amount of games between now and the end of the year as one of our 7. So we did not do that because we wouldn't risk losing him on waivers at year's end to play this year's playoffs. I think he would be claimed.
Doug, how will you approach the decision whether to bring up Dvorsky at some point or not?
I think it'll depend on how we're playing, how we can put him into our team, and the experience it would give him, and how he's playing too. One of the things that JR, and it's hard for the player, and it's hard for is he wants to be here, but we want his mind to be where his feet are, which are in Springfield right now. And so he just has to keep playing good hockey there. If he's waiting for the phone to ring and plays poorly hockey, the reality, it won't ring. So it's going to be based on a need. It's going to be based on how we're playing, and it's going to be based on if he can help us. Now, if we fall out of it and he's playing very good, then I expect us to use all 4 recalls.
One more big picture one, if you don't mind. Doug,
Sure.
For people who just see the headline tonight, Blues stood pat at the deadline. Just how do you explain it to people who maybe wanted you to bring some people in or move some people out if you weren't going to bring some people in? I mean, is this just a tough day because people need to realize that it's part of the retool and you may benefit from standing pat later on, but it's tough to, understand at the time?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's hypothetical as you're asking about 23 players. So I'm not really sure how to answer it. Like I think I tried to answer it and I didn't do a good job, Jay, earlier. Like we had 2 unrestricted free agents, and those are the most of the guys that moved today. There was a couple of hockey trades. There was a massive hockey trade between Ottawa and Buffalo. There was a hockey trade between Boston and Colorado for Coyle and Middlestat. We were involved to talk about some of those things, but it's not like we had the unrestricted free agents. I think the people on this call that know the game, if we had to move our unrestricted free agents, I don't think you'd be guys expecting 3 first-rounders and a second. So you have to live in reality.
Doug, just one more big picture one. What does success look like for this team the rest of the season to you?
It's how we play. If we continue to play the way we're playing now, and firm and hard and determined and for each other, the wins and losses, I think we'll win more than we lose, whether it'll be enough to get in the playoffs, is success. If we start to lose games and then get individualistic, cheating the game, cheating for offense, not playing for the guy, it's not quite worthy. It's not quite, you're up by a goal. It's not quite worth blocking a shot because we're not in the playoff hunt. Those things will tell a tale about who wants to be here and who doesn't want to be here. So the success is going to will be determined by the things that aren't just on the scoreboard, but on how we conduct ourselves.
Any other questions, guys?
All right, guys, thank you very much, and see you soon.
All right, that was Doug Armstrong. Gave a full press conference, a lot to get into, and we'll do so next here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Hey everyone, if you're dreaming of a high-end kitchen or bathroom remodel without the sky-high price tag, E&B Granite has a solution for you. Their Luxury for Less line, where elegance meets affordability. In addition to the countertop services that they currently offer, the team over at E&B Granite now has the ability to provide you with access to a top-notch range of designer cabinet brands. Whether you're renovating your kitchen, bathroom, or updating your office, these cabinets combine beauty and durability for a look that stands the test of time. Imagine transforming your space with luxurious style, all while keeping your budget intact. Well, if you want to do that, head over to E&B Granite Showroom, or you can always visit their website, enbgranite.com. They do a fantastic job of finding out exactly what you're trying to accomplish with your space, whether it's kitchen, bathroom, or even your outdoor living space. They're all about that these days. And then they look at your budget and they maximize your budget, and the technicians get in and do an amazing job. So please get down there on Manchester Avenue, visit the showroom, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in, or you can always visit that website. Again, that's enbgranite.com.
didn't view that it's still an uphill battle. We do the analytical equation where we're at. I think if the 8th place team stays on its current winning percentage, we have to play around 650 hockey to just tie them or get 1 point ahead of them, which is a tall task. And we weren't looking to use assets that we've acquired over the last couple of years, young players, for a stopgap. Anything we would have done would have been more of a hockey trade, and we didn't see a lot of those happen today that we were involved in or could be involved in. So we weren't looking for a Band-Aid this year.
That was Doug Armstrong. You just heard that press conference right here on your home of the Blues 101 ESPN. One of the quotes I think that really stood out is we had talked to teams over the last couple of weeks. Coming out of the Four Nations, we were very active in seeing what we could do. As our team started to progress, we wanted to wait and see how they did. The last couple of days, we were in contact with teams on hockey trades, but as Doug Armstrong just noted, they seemingly, I got the impression, I don't know about you guys, but I got the impression that Army really never got close to making a deal. Now, maybe he's holding his cards tight. There's really no reason to tell the media otherwise. But it seems to be that there wasn't a deal to be made given where the Blues are at right now. Whether that means he was uncomfortable making a trade for a player that was of significant value and you have to give up something. And he certainly, it sounds like he never got close to trading away guys like Brayden Schenn or Jordan Binnington. Is that the feel that you had, Jamie?
Yeah, I think that what everybody has to understand is you have a job to do as a president, GM of the hockey club, and that is to listen to potential trade offers or potential movement of certain players. Just because Army was listening and talking to all these people doesn't mean he actually had any real intention on making a trade.
You got that, Toronto?
I think that, yeah, Toronto, exactly. But when you sit back and you evaluate things, maybe Army's asking price for these players was just off the charts. Mm-hmm. And why wouldn't it be? If you're really not interested in trading a Brayden Schenn, a Jordan Binnington, I mean, take your pick of veteran players that were rumored to be out there. If you're really not interested in doing that, you set the asking price like way above what market value would be.
Yeah.
And the reason you do that is because if you get that, well, okay, you've just absolutely hit a home run on a trade. But if you don't, it doesn't matter. You really didn't have any intention on trading that player anyway. So whether it was a hockey trade or just whatever, it just nothing seemed to, tempt Doug Armstrong in making a deal. And good on him for showing some discipline. And I know there's a lot of people right now on the text line and the YouTube chat that were like, well, you should have made a trade. He's doing a disservice to the team, and you should have added a player. I understand your frustration. And I get it. And to me, to a certain level of that, I thought he would add a piece, even if it's a small piece, just to kind of show the team or the boys, like, we're going for it. But what if that piece doesn't work out? What if it screws up the chemistry? What if it does something different to the locker room that you didn't foresee? Because that happened to me when I was with the Ottawa Senators. I've told you this before, Anthony. We were first place in the Eastern Conference. We went and added a whole bunch of 3 or 4 different guys to the team. They were all great guys, but it just didn't work out. And it changed everything within that locker room. Not in like a negative way, just we were out of sync. The chemistry wasn't there. And then we got knocked out of the playoffs in the first round.
Yeah.
So not all moves are great moves. Even if the player that you got coming in seems like on paper, well, this is a great play, sometimes it can just disrupt things. And you know what? If Army felt that way, then so be it. But I'm not shocked with what happened today.
So I saw it as, I think he thinks that this team's window is going to open here shortly. Like, no need to. They didn't have any unrestricted free agents that he felt they needed to move on from. They didn't have any prospects or anybody that is in the system that he felt was worth trading to get something back. I think he feels that this team is on track to do exactly what he said they would do. They are in position to potentially make the playoffs, and then you get an infusion of younger players coming up here in the next year or so, and your window is open where you feel like you're able to compete for playoffs, and in 3 to 5 years, you're able to compete for championships. Mm-hmm. I think that that's what it was more than anything, and I think the team kind of showed him that by their play here of late, just playing together, doing all of the things that they need to do. He said when they asked him, what does this team need to do for it to be a successful season, the guy's playing for the guy next to you, not cheating the game, not, maybe you don't think we're in the playoff hunt and you're not, deciding to jump in front of that puck and take a slap shot to the ribs or to the ankle or wherever at.
Yeah.
It's doing the little things. And I think right now he feels that this team is on the track to be a playoff contender, even if it's not this year, but in the next 2 to 3 years, pushing for the playoffs and having a championship window that is opening here shortly.
Yeah, you can think about the future without actually making a move. You can think about the future with just keeping guys like Brayden Schenn, knowing that you have every intention of competing a year from now. Same concept with Jordan Binnington. There are also teams that were not significant buyers at the trade deadline and wound up doing quite well. Now, I realize I'm going to highlight the ones that did the best, but for example, the 2012 LA Kings, not significant buyers at the 2012 deadline. In fact, I think they only made one minor move. They acquired a defenseman from the Flyers, and obviously they had, they're the eighth seed that year and wound up winning it all. The 06 Hurricanes, same deal. Minor move at the deadline, went on to win the Stanley Cup. Again, I'm not saying that the Blues are going to win the Stanley Cup this year. But just because you're not a buyer at the deadline or you're not a significant, you're not active at the deadline doesn't mean you can't ultimately have success. And
right.
CD1 quote that I wrote down is moving forward with the team. We're moving forward with the team playing excellent hockey right now.
Yeah. So why change anything?
Right.
Yeah, I think
or make a move just to make a move.
Yeah, I think that they are playing extremely well. They're playing for one another. That quote that we talked about, that Jamie talked about from Jordan Binnington, basically saying, hey, we are showing you that this is what we're telling you, that we don't want anybody moved from this team. We're going to keep fighting for each other. We're going to keep working hard. And that's why I also said yesterday with the Colton Parayko injury news, this is a team that has made a conscious decision that we're playing hard, fast lane, everything else. We're going to do everything we can. Yeah, it sucks that our guy is down. He's going to be injured for a little while, but we're not going to fall apart because of that. If anything, we might come closer together because we've already shown that we can play this way. Let's pull closer together and continue to do what we need to do.
So Doug Armstrong did address the media earlier today. We played the entire press conference. Here's Army after he was asked if the flexibility of the contracts heading into the summer helped in any deal.
Sure does. Obviously, when you negotiate with unrestricted free agents, there's a give and take on all different things, from no movement clauses to no trade clause to signing bonuses, and the ones that we do have an expiration date on the full no trades, and we're getting into that window with some of our veteran players, and it does open up the door if we decide to do certain things with less restrictions.
Jamie, what do you think about that comment in terms of the flexibility of the contracts and in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, Army's going to be evaluating all of this stuff throughout the rest of the season and then in the off season. And as far as flexibility goes, look, he's going to have a couple of guys that are unrestricted free agents. Whether he wants to bring them back or not is to be determined with Suter and Foxa. And then it's not just about the unrestricted free agents. If Army wants to make a move of any kind, the off season is usually a pretty good chance to do it. So if Army for some reason wants to move on from a defenseman or a certain forward, a lot of teams' appetite to acquire those players is greater in the summertime when it comes to players that have term left on their deals. Mm-hmm. You want to acquire a player that has a year or two left on their deal. A lot of the trade deadline deals are UFA driven for the most part, because teams want to make sure they get value for what they have before that player's gone. And so when you take into consideration all that stuff, look, I think Army not acquiring a player right now, had he acquired somebody, it probably would have been a UFA anyway, so I don't know if it would have really affected the offseason. Now, had he acquired a player that had term left, which is what he's always talked about, that certainly would have affected certain things, but Army wouldn't have made that trade then if he didn't get the right player. So I think the cap going up, the situation the Blues are in, they're going to have some youth that they're looking to plug in the lineup next year, whether Dvorsky and Snuggerud can make the jump right away next year or not. It's going to create different levels of freedom for Army to do whatever he wants.
Here's Doug Armstrong on whether or not the asking price what the asking prices out there were on certain players that maybe he could have added.
Well, it's hard because we weren't, you look at some of the trades that happened, like the Colorado trade with the Islanders or the Dallas trade with Carolina. These are unrestricted free agents. We didn't have that style of player, and we weren't looking to bring one of those players in to this team this year without having them signed. And quite honestly, bringing one of those players in this year, doesn't make sense for where we're at. So we weren't really involved. We did, as the day was going on, we're doing our jobs, but we're also hockey fans, and we're looking, wow, what a first-round matchup it's going to be in our division. What a first-round matchup it's going to be between Florida, Toronto, or Tampa, Colorado, Winnipeg, Dallas. It's going to be great hockey. The league is going to be the massive benefactor of it, but someone's going to be really unhappy 14 days after the season ends.
In other words, I think what he's saying, guys, is it was too rich to jump into that pool that some of these other teams jumped into. For example, Dallas, who acquired Mikko Rantanen. Florida acquired Brad Marchand. Jamie, was it the Frederick deal that you also thought was really pricey in terms of what was given up?
Oh, yeah, I thought that was quite a bit, and for me, the Rantanen deal was pricey. The Tampa Bay Lightning acquiring Yanni Gourde, and that was pricey too. Like the cost of doing business was really high this year, and like Army said, like you're just not sure if he's willing to pay the freight on some of those players right now, and he's right too that 5 games into the playoffs you could be done.
Right. Right.
Like, there's no guarantee that you're getting a second round or third round visit in the playoffs because those teams that he mentioned, 2 of them are going to play each other in the first round at some point. And one of those teams who loaded up and spent all their assets and whatnot will be out. They'll be golfing.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're going to make those big moves and spend a lot of capital, whether it's draft capital or player capital to acquire a certain star, you better darn well know that you've got a contending team.
Well, also, there's going to be teams, once they are out in the first round, they'll head back into the summer, go back to the drawing board and wonder, what do we need? And maybe that is when you can start talking to other teams and maybe making some moves. We talked about the roster flexibility. Maybe that plays into a factor as well. Like, I think there's just so many other things you can do in the offseason where and we talk about this with the Cardinals too. Like, there's some teams that will go into the playoffs if they didn't get with like a closer or whatever, and the next year they'll be like, man, we really needed that closer. That was the guy that we needed. Right. So I don't think that these discussions end because the trade deadline is over. Like, these are things that carry over into the offseason.
Yeah, and making a move, kind of circling back on that, Marsh, circling back to the point we had earlier, which is whether or not you make a move or not, you're always trying to figure out what's best for next season when you have players under contract. So they being Schenn, they being Binnington. I've seen a lot of people in the snake pit commenting about how Holloway will need a new deal at some point, Broberg will need a new deal at some point. This is something that our Army has given out those contracts. And I think that is one of the few frustrating aspects about the way that Army has built this roster, and that there's not a lot of flexibility because while he has rewarded guys, he has also not allowed some of the flexibility when some of these players start to have poor seasons. Like, we'll see what the Pavel Buchnevich deal winds up being. I mean, that contract extension doesn't kick in until next year. So having a little bit of flexibility certainly makes some sense, as opposed to just adding on and then saying, well, we're going to make a big run right now. No, you're not. I mean, if you are, you're going to have to do it with the guys that you currently have on the roster.
Yeah, I don't think that this team is set in stone that they're going to make the playoffs. So could you have added something? And he mentioned he wasn't looking to add any unrestricted free agents unless there was a certainty of signing them to an extension, like keeping them around for more than just the rest of the season. So not punting on the future because you're trading away prospects or draft picks for a push. That's usually done when you got a team that is a championship contender, when you got a team that we just need a little bit more oomph to get in, not get into the playoffs, but get into the finals, the Western Conference Finals, the Stanley Cup Final. Like, that's when you make that push. So I think he just felt like this is not where this team is right now. They're playing really good hockey. I don't want to break any of these guys up because, I don't want to mess up the mojo and what they got going on.
Yeah.
And let's just continue to push forward with the group we have. And hopefully, they can find a way to get into the playoffs, and then you get Colton Parayko back, and anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Kevin Garnett style. Yep. One more thing here, and we do want to get some Blues cues. So if you want to text in 314-399-9646 is our Air Comfort Service text line. We're going to do Blues cues in about 5 minutes or so. 314-399-9646. Any Blues-related questions that you have after the Blues were inactive at the deadline and after you heard Doug Armstrong's press conference, what questions do you have for us or Jamie specifically? Start to send those in. But the only other thing, too, he answered the Schenn question. I saw that at least one person didn't like the way that Doug Armstrong answered the question almost directly about Brayden Schenn and whether or not he got offers and things like that. Doug Armstrong said, I respect the question. I understand it. I'm just not going to comment on certain players. And I think he was essentially saying, like,
go fast lane yourself.
It doesn't make any sense for me to get into whether or not
we talked about trading our captain.
Why even go there?
Right.
He's a Blue.
He's here. You don't tell your girlfriend, you know what, I thought about breaking up with you 2 weeks ago.
Right.
But I didn't.
You're welcome.
You're still here. I was going to trade you in, but I'm
hang on to you
now.
Right.
You're probably not going to have a girlfriend after
Probably
that conversation.
Not.
So,
no.
yeah, you leave
Either
it
that
alone.
or a black eye, maybe. Either way. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We will do Blues Cues next. So, again, send in those questions, 314-399-9646. Blues Cues next in the Fastlane.
After nearly 45 years of outfitting the best dressed vehicles in St. Louis and St. Charles area, you can trust that your vehicle is in great hands with the people over at Pure Performance. They've got a 25,000 square foot facility where they have all of the best accessories available for any vehicle that you're driving. Whether it's a Jeep or a Bronco, they've got all of those amazing accessories and different kits for those vehicles. But even if you just have an SUV, a pickup truck, a car, even a minivan for that matter, Pure Performance has accessories for you. They've got leveling kits for Jeeps, SUVs, trucks of any make and model. And they also sell tires and wheels for any vehicle. They don't have to be those big, oversized tires or off-road tires. No, any tire that you're looking for, Pure Performance has you covered. And they also now are carrying tires for your ATV, your UTV, your golf cart, all of the little toys for the weekend or after work. They've got you covered at Pure Performance, and they also have a full garage. So anything you need while you're there, whether it's a tune-up, an oil change, your brakes, checked out wiper blades, tail light, Pure Performance, their technicians can fix absolutely everything. So please get over to that facility located right there in St. Peters off of Highway 70. When you get there, ask for Shelby or Paul. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. But if you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit them at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane's Blues Cues.
Time for some Blues cues, some Blues-related questions following an inactive deadline for the Blues. They did not make any moves. No big deal. I'm not saying that in a negative way.
It sounded a little bit negative.
Well, it was inactive. They were inactive. They were not active.
You were correct in the word choice. But I think just how you said it, inactive, like they weren't trying.
It's a tone thing?
It's not
You
not
like
what
my
you say,
tone?
it's how you say it.
No.
You've heard that. You've heard that before.
Yeah.
Not what you say, it's how you say it. I know.
No.
You and I are brothers. We've heard that plenty of times.
I disagree. Now, if it was the end of July, I think I think that statement would
be different.
More
would be
snarky.
different. Different team. See a little bit more snark on it.
A little more red on it.
A bit more red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arizona Cardinals.
That's right. Training camp. Sure. All right. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're going to get to some Blues cues right now, some Blues-related questions. 314-399-9646. Take it away, Marsh.
All right. Let's start with the 5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7.
Jamie, with the price being so high, don't you think the Blues should have moved somebody to get something just because of the value of the market?
Let me just counter that. Why? Just to move something because you want to acquire a draft pick that's completely unproven, a player that may never play in the NHL, or a young player that may never actually make a difference on your roster? Because all of those things can be true. Just as much as, you think you're acquiring the next superstar. I would never make a move just to make a move. Doug Armstrong is in a situation where he's trying to rebuild this team, get it back in the playoffs, whether that's this year, next year, or the year after. If you just start moving pieces because you think the return is going to be great, then that's a team that's a constant rebuild. That's the Buffalo Sabres, quite honestly. The team that hasn't been in the playoffs, 13 years now. Like, they keep moving assets because they can't figure out how the hell to get their team back in the playoffs. That's not Army. He has a vision for this team, and that vision is not just trading away players because you want to accrue more draft picks. I mean, you already have an unbelievable pool of young players. I mean, you had 9 players in the World Junior Tournament this year, and that's not counting the likes of Jimmy Snuggerud either. So I think we're fine here.
Jamie, I got a question from the 217. Could the Blues have kept quiet about the Parayko injury until the trade deadline passed to help their bargaining power?
Yeah, they could have. They could have announced it right at the deadline as it happened and say, hey, look, Colton Parayko's out. I don't know the logistics of it. If they could call up a player, I guess they could have. They have a roster spot available. Yeah, they could have, but I don't think Army looked at it as, showing weakness because one of our players is hurt. I think that if he was going to go get a defenseman, I'm pretty sure the cost of doing business would have been the same.
Get a question from the 618. What is the Blues' top priority in the offseason? Personally, I'd like to see an upgrade to the forwards and moving a defenseman's contract that is not Parayko or Broberg.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the defenseman right now because you don't have a defenseman that's pushing anybody out the door right now. Tyler Tucker's played well for this team. He brings an element of toughness. I love the guy, but he's not pushing anybody out the door with how well he's playing. And Matthew Kessel has not been up all season pretty much. And maybe it changes, but he's probably not pushing anybody out the door either. So why would you unload a player from an area which I believe to be one of your biggest strengths right now is that defense core and how well they're playing and how experienced they are. As far as the forwards are concerned, yeah, I think the Blues are going to look to upgrade up front. I think there's a couple of spots in the lineup where they would like to add a little bit more as far as the offensive production are concerned. I think the team desperately needs a second line center. I know that Brayden Schenn is having a great year. But again, and I would say this to Brayden Schenn himself, on a contending team, he's a third-line center, and there's no disrespect to that at all. that's probably where he slots in. If he was on Dallas or Colorado or the Toronto Maple Leafs, or the third line center spot is where Brayden Schenn would be. So yeah, I think you could upgrade a second line center and maybe some scoring depth on the wings as well.
Something that flew under the radar yesterday because of the whole Colton Parayko news was the extension for Colton Ellis. We get a question from the 816. You have Binnington, you extended Ellis. What do we do with Joel Hofer?
I think you just leave things the way they are right now. Colton Ellis signed a 2-year contract extension, but it's a 2-way contract as well, which means he has a minor league side of this deal, which will pay him, I think, $150,000 in the minors next year and $250,000 in the minors a year after, which allows you the flexibility of keeping him in the minors. And then it also gives you the flexibility of listening to offers in the offseason, whether it's for Jordan Binnington or Joel Hofer, and somebody wants to acquire themselves a number 1 goalie and they're ready to pony up for it, then I guess you do it. I don't think Colton Ellis signing his contract does anything to the Blues' current situation in net. I mean, Colton Ellis hasn't even played a game in the NHL yet, so it's not like he's pushing one of those guys off the roster. So I think it's a depth move, a smart move by Doug Armstrong to keep good goaltending in the pipeline.
We get a question from the 424. Another trade deadline that lets us know that players on the current Blues roster have little value around the league. Do you agree with that statement? I'll open that up for everybody.
No, I don't think that proves that. How can you say that definitively? We have no idea the phone calls that Doug Armstrong got on guys like Brayden Schenn, Jordan Binnington, or anybody else for that matter. Maybe Justin Falk got a sniff from somebody. Just because they didn't make a move you can't equate the two. Well, they didn't trade anybody, so that means there's no value to it. I mean, it's just, I apologize for this, but it's kind of a hollow comment. You're a fine person. Whoever texted that in, you're great. But the comment itself, which just seemed...
Are you sure?
Kind of half-assed.
Are you sure they're a great person?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I imagine they're a great person.
I imagine they're a great person, yeah.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Most of our texters are. Most of our listeners are.
Some are.
Like this guy, Bobby, who's very upset today in the Snake Pit. He says, it's amazing the Blues are out of the playoffs with Parayko, but didn't think an upgrade of any kind on defense was necessary. Was there a move, Jamie, outside of Schenn, Luke Schenn, not Brayden Schenn, that the Blues, that you saw was made today for the defense that you thought would make sense for the Blues? And what the other team gave up?
Yeah, I think that, look, Brandon Carlo, big right-handed shot defenseman from the Bruins, went to the Leafs. It was a King's ransom that went back the other way to the Bruins.
Okay, so that you got to eliminate, right?
Yeah, of course, you eliminate that one.
All right.
Yes. The only one that I saw that happened that came through right at the end that kind of interested me, but it would simply be plugging a hole while Parayko is injured, is Eric Johnson going back to the Colorado Avalanche for next to nothing in return. But is Eric Johnson better than Matthew Kessel? Is he better than Tyler Tucker right now? Or would you simply be acquiring what he once was as a defenseman, but not really what he is today as a player? So I don't know. Like you go get an old guy because you're like, I know what he did before and you can do it again,
Nah,
or
Jamie,
you let a young guy get better.
Don't hate on old guys, Jamie. I tried to get you a job.
Oh, I'm not.
I tried to get Monty to let you play. You told us you had a dream that he called you and you were suiting up. And I asked him about that and he said, no way in hell. Tell him keep dreaming. But I did try. So don't hate on the older man.
You know what? I'd really rather not bring up yesterday because I did see Jim Montgomery last night in the lobby, and I talked to him about things, guys. Oh, no, it was fine, guys. He let me in on some of the things you all said about
what did we say?
What did we say?
Yeah. I don't want to get into it, guys, because chemistry's pretty good today. But he said that you guys were ripping on me pretty good. He goes, "What? Those guys were ripping on you way more than I did."
I called you an old ass defenseman, but I'm an old ass fullback.
Thanks, Carey.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I didn't call you old.
Keep your old ass to yourself. Okay, Carey?
Hey, one thing we will say about Monty, that guy has always been a liar.
That's right, especially when he said that you were the Iron Man of the group.
No kidding.
One truth he had there. You know, that whole
Lost
game,
all
one
credibility
truth
there.
and a lie or whatever. That's what Monty was playing.
Okay.
By the way, we're getting crap from at least one person that says we'd be crushing the Cardinals for doing the same thing today.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, God.
I mean,
We have.
If the Cardinals don't make any moves at the deadline this year, outside of trading their expiring contracts, yeah, we'll be critical of that.
Why?
Not trading the critical
If they're in the same
contracts that are
if they're
expiring.
in the same, well, expiring contracts, yes.
Yeah.
But if there aren't any expiring contracts,
No, I
and
wouldn't have
there's
said.
nothing-
I wouldn't have
like
said
if
a damn
Ryan
thing.
Helsley is performing well, and you don't trade him, man,
You better resign him then.
Yeah, there you go. But I think the Cardinals and the Blues are in different phases of their.
Yeah,
of their
they might still be in like. The Cardinals are in, to use Marsh's term, which is excellent, was restructure. The Cardinals are in a restructure right now. That you can't just say, well, both teams are in the same spot. You guys would criticize the Cardinals, but the Blues are on your network, so I don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't. If I'm not going to speak for Jamie and Carey and Marsh, but like if I see something that doesn't make any damn sense, I don't care if it's Cardinals or Blues. I don't. And the Cardinals make a lot of decisions that don't make any damn sense. But I feel like we're fair.
Well,
sometimes people think that we're picking on their birds. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I guess what I'm trying to say is grow up. You know? Just grow up. Like Bobby, your Blues Propaganda Network. Come on.
The 424 who texted in about the Blues' current roster having little to no value. He says he's not a good person. So,
he's not.
Yeah, that's what he texted in.
Did he lose to
I'm not
Marsh?
I'm not a great
Or
person.
did he beat Marsh in the?
It just says I'm not a great person.
Oh no!
We'll have to get his
They
number and
answered
get him on the Gauntlet
Yeah.
next week,
Need more scumbags.
just to find out. You know.
Okay, well, thank you for the text. It's really funny. Thank you for the text. All right, moving on here. All right, we're gonna stick with the Blues for the next two segments here because Jamie's off at 4 today. Is it time to see what the Blues are made of? Well, I would say so. But what can they prove with the remaining games on the schedule? That's next on 101 ESPN.
When it comes time to sell your home, you're going to need a reliable, experienced, and trusted agent. Take it from me, Jamie Rivers. Get to know my friend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria's name is her promise and says it all. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has mastered the home selling promise by guaranteeing upfront and in writing to sell your home at your agreed upon price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself, and she guarantees all of that in handwriting, of course. And how is Gloria able to guarantee the sale of your home in writing? Because Gloria already has the buyers. That's right, thousands of ready buyers Gloria has had the chance to put in her database over the past 20 years of doing business. And this is how you get lots of traffic to your listing, hopefully multiple offers, and of course, the most money possible for your home, maybe even above list price. That would be awesome too. So please don't wait. If you're going to sell your home, call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. Again, that number is 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. And as always, Gloria and the seller must agree upon the price and possession date.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues stand pat at the trade deadline. Doug Armstrong addressed the media at 2:30 talking about this year's trade deadline and what the Blues did and did not do. They didn't do anything. So this is the team you have the rest of the way. Colton Parayko, he will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. We talked a little bit about that. If you missed anything from today's show, including Doug Armstrong's press conference, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find everything. Interviews, full shows, it's all there right there on the podcast page. It's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We're going to dive back into the Blues. They'll take on the Anaheim Ducks tonight. You can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9. Is it time to find out what the Blues are made of? We'll discuss it next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Without making a move at the deadline, will the Blues have an extended opportunity now to basically evaluate whether or not certain guys that have kind of been on this bubble roster can carve out a more significant role for themselves moving forward? Jamie, is that fair to say? You got 19 games left. Does it make more sense, instead of bringing in kind of an older, saltier veteran that you know what you're going to get and maybe he's a slighter upgrade, does it make more sense to see what you have in Matthew Kessel or Tyler Tucker? You had mentioned that at the very end of the segment, but I think it's worth exploring again. Is it time to see what these guys are made of?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you're going to eventually move the ball forward in this retool or whatever we're calling it these days, then the young players at some point have to be the ones to take over positions. If you just keep filling the gap with veteran player after veteran player after veteran player, then your young guys, one, they don't get the opportunity to develop and get a chance to take a roster spot. And two, how the hell are you ever going to know what you have?
Right.
So I just look at it as it's an opportunity right now for Matthew Kessel and Tyler Tucker to show Doug Armstrong and the Blues front office that they belong in the NHL as full-time NHLers next year and not seventh defenseman or back down in the American Hockey League. Zach Bolduc, same thing. I think Zach Bolduc is playing really good hockey right now. He's a difference maker on the ice, but if he wasn't given the opportunity, if he was just sort of a bubble guy again, then next year you don't know you're not any smarter next year about what you have for your roster. I think Matthew Joseph getting an extended run here right now, and he has seized the moment. He has proven that he wants to be in the lineup. He did not like being one of those guys that was like in or out of the lineup, doesn't really matter. Oh, it matters. It matters to him. And now Doug Armstrong looked at that and goes, okay, you know what? Now I know this guy's an NHL player on this team. He can do this. Now he's got to continue doing it. But I just don't think it made any sense to just bring in a third liner winger to come in here and just block the development of one of your younger players, or even guys like Jake Neighbors, who's established himself now and he's playing really well with Robert Thomas and Pavel Buchnevich. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just not a big fan for just disrupting the chemistry of the team just to do it.
I don't want to take this segment off the rails, but there was a texter last segment that asked, why don't we go after the Blues like we do the Cardinals? What Jamie just said. They didn't go out and sign veteran players and block younger players.
Name a Cardinal.
Matt Carpenter.
Name 2.
Lance Lynn.
Name 3.
Kyle Gibson.
Name 4.
Brandon Crawford.
Oh, come on.
Crawdaddy.
All right, you got me.
All right.
Well, we also get a text from Grant Francis Fan Club. Tell that texter when the Blues give away their versions of Alcantara, Gallen, Arozarena, Garcia, and Edmund for nothing, then they'll get as much criticism.
Tell them.
Well, actually, guys, that's a really good text because last home game, Andy Strickland and I were just talking in the green room before the game was starting, and we thought we tried to pinpoint a young player that Doug Armstrong traded away that is a star. That you go, oh my God, I can't believe we got rid of that player. Guys, there's only one player that we could think of that eventually became a star. Only one.
I got to be, Tate Thompson would be the only one. I don't know if he's a star, though.
Yeah. I don't know if he's a star either. The team hasn't made the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a great
that's
player.
what I'm saying. I don't think he's a star, but he's a really good player. Plus, you got Riley in the deal.
Exactly. So think of a deal Army's made to like the magnitude. This is a great text, by the way. The magnitude of like where the Randy Arozarena, all the guys, Sandy Alcantara, all those guys have gone on to have like massive success. While the Cardinals got nothing out of their end of the deal. So there's only one player.
TJ Oshie.
Ben Bishop. You're right.
Oh, thank you.
TJ Oshie. Yeah, he's a good one too. But you got Troy Brouwer in that deal, I believe.
He scored a goal.
Troy Brouwer got you over the hump.
He scored a big goal.
The big overtime.
You mother Fastlane. Don't you?
I just said he scored a goal.
Yeah,
He scored a goal.
You said it, though.
Thank you, Carey.
He scored a goal.
He scored a goal.
A couple segments ago.
You said. I'm just telling you. I gave it to him. I'm giving it to you now. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. He scored a goal.
It is how you say it, Andrew.
No, you said he scored a goal.
But he was flipping.
He scored a goal. It's a statement.
He scored a goal.
It was a big-time goal. And the Blues got kicked out of the playoffs 2 rounds later.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that even the TJ Oshie one, it's not like that really reared its ugly head on you and ruined your franchise and stopped your team from playing well. The Blues were still making the playoffs during those years. So it's just funny because the texter's saying, we don't call the Blues out for making bad moves. Well, Army, the only bad moves Army's made are the free agents he lets walk.
Thank you. Which we've talked about. We've talked about the domino effect of not bringing back Alex Pietrangelo and everything that transpired. That all fell into play. Torrey Krug signing him, and then onward. I mean, Jamie, you and I have done like pie charts on this stuff. Like, here, look at the domino effect. But hey, we're only responsible for what we say, not what you hear. So go fast on yourself.
That's a good point.
Yeah. You didn't hear Marshy?
He said, I agree.
And went right back to doing whatever the hell he's over there doing.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Do you think the Falk deal was bad? Do you think the Falk trade was bad? Because Bobby Bo Fastlane yourself is bringing him up.
So, okay, but then who's the star that you let go in that one?
Right.
Who's the star that Carolina got? Like, really, you got the best player in the deal. He's a hell of a player, isn't he? Somewhere in the Bundesliga over in Germany right now. You got the best player in that trade, though. You got Justin Falk. He was the best player in that trade. So how did you get fleeced? How is that a problem? It's not. The only problem is that it ended up causing a roadblock or a logjam of right-handed shot defenseman on your roster when maybe you didn't need to. But you still got the best player in the deal.
And people are bringing up, like, Kevin Hayes. Okay.
That was 1 year.
Did that set you back?
What did you give up for Kevin Hayes?
And they were trying. He was supposed to play. I think
that was a bad deal.
He was supposed. Is he playing better now?
It was a bad acquisition.
He was supposed to play better than he was.
Yeah.
Than he did.
So but we can say it was a bad deal. Well, how about this? It didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
Cardinals fans. Some Cardinals fans are sensitive today.
And it's not even.
You're being sensitive.
Season. You think it's because the Cardinals have won? I don't know how many games. They're getting like one run a game.
Hey, let's do the snarky thing.
Well, they're really ripping it up, aren't they?
Let's do the snarky thing for a second, okay? Your Cardinals are great. Okay, Anthony, they're great.
I don't. We should talk about them in the second half of the show.
I love the Cardinals
More.
Anthony,
I love the moves that they've made.
Anthony,
what?
There's room if you want to put those blue glasses on. you are more than welcome.
I will never. I
Hey,
will never wear those
listen,
glasses
let me give you,
in a Dodger.
Let me give you my elevator pitch.
Fashion.
Let me give you my elevator pitch.
I will
Every
never
year,
become a Dodger fan.
Let me finish. Every year, you choose a champion. You choose a team that happens to be a champion, right? You choose the Chiefs. You choose UConn. Your baseline is Atlanta Falcons and the St. Louis Cardinals. Don't you want to convert? Don't you want to come over and be a part of a championship roster, be a part of a championship franchise, a team that's actually trying?
Already part of a championship franchise. 11 championships, in fact. 11. More than any other National League team.
Wasn't it?
So what?
Okay, go ahead.
You know how many teams wish they would have won between now and 11? Most of the league.
Not the Dodgers.
Second World Series titles.
They won last year.
Second. And we don't have to buy everybody like your stupid Dodgers.
Hey.
Okay?
If you don't have money, just say that. You know?
Oh, we have money. We're just being.
You don't got money.
We're just being prudent with our money. Okay.
That, you know.
You have no idea what we're building in Jupiter.
I would never buy that. Nah,
you have no idea.
I don't. Do tell.
We have got all kinds of. We've got a pitching machine now down there.
Pitching machine.
Now, do we get it at Play It Again Sports? Sure. But you know what?
No, you know what? I'm going to say something. I saw a video today of their new setup. It looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah, John Wright, it does. You're welcome.
It ain't something from,
You're welcome.
Your local
Cardinals. All right.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
The 618 brings up a great point, and I feel like there's a lot of people, not a lot of people, just some people, they're trying to pit the Cardinals against the Blues.
Yeah, why would you do that?
The 618 says, what do you mean? We actually root for all St. Louis teams. It's not either or. That's a great point.
Well said.
Why are they trying to pit the teams against each other?
Yeah, they're pissing and moaning today. Hey, I wish the Blues would have made a deal. So I'm going to attack the fast lane. Well, guess what? You rang the wrong door, you mother fast lane. All right, let's get to some keys to victory. And let's light that lamp next on 101 ESPN.
If you love sports betting, then you are absolutely going to love Circa Sports Illinois, the app. Derek Stevens, the owner and creator of Circa Sports Las Vegas, he had a vision a long time ago of creating the world's largest sports book and putting it inside of his casino. He did that. Now, he's taking that sports book and he's putting it right in the palm of your hands. And you're going to love the experience of using Circa Sports. It's super easy to use. You can find it, by the way, on their website or in the app store. It's got the best odds of any app that's out there. So download any app, compare the odds. You're going to see that Circa Sports Illinois has the best odds available. They've got good lines for all their futures bets, tight money line splits, and they have high betting limits as well. So please download and use Circa Sports Illinois. You're going to love it. It's not just for the casual bettor, because you can do that. You have some fun with it, but also for the hardcore bettors that love that old school Vegas feel. Well, now you've got it with Circa Sports. So please don't miss out on the action. Download and bet like a pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Fastlane on 101 ESPN. A lot of people commenting in the snake pit. You know, we need to get back to the person whose fault this truly is. If you're angry today, you blame BK. Wow. And he took his medicine. I'll give him that. He took his medicine today. He owned up to it.
He said a lot.
He did.
He said the Blues won the Stanley Cup when he left. He said the Chiefs won their first Super Bowl when he left Kansas City. Like, he came back to the city, COVID started. Like, it was a lot. I was like, wow.
He had a whole intro about all the different things that he's ruined.
Yeah, very true.
That's, you should just, he could be a wealthy man.
He could be.
Do the opposite.
Right.
Like,
or I don't know if it works that way.
Here's the thing.
Like the wheel.
If you do it, if you say, boom, and you say, hey, go against what I just said. Boom.
Well, he's got to believe it, though. That was one of the caveats.
I'm sure he does.
Right.
I'm sure he does.
because he did. That hat has been, that conductor's hat's been next to me for years now, and I've never seen him wear it. So he actually did believe the Blues were like all aboard. Let's go. And you saw what happened. Almost instantly, the announcement was made that Colton Parayko would miss basically the rest of the year, and Doug Armstrong said, "You know what? I'm just going to punt on the deadline."
Is it cursed? Like,
it's fine.
Is the hat cursed?
No, I don't think
wearing the hat.
Beat me to it. No, I don't think the hat is cursed.
Okay.
The person that
So
put
like
the
we
hat
could
on his
wear it
head.
and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
I think so.
Or does that
Try
like
it on, Anthony.
Yeah, nah.
or does it sprinkle off?
Again, you got to believe it.
Yeah.
You don't believe it?
So Cat Dad Gamer says, can we just take this back to whose fault it really is? BK. Gen X, F and BK.
Oh, man.
Droid FX, thanks Fastlane BK. Splashback Deuce, true. Nothing could galvanize us like BKO. Okay. All right. Let's get to Jamie's keys to victory tonight for the Blues as they take on the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim and Fulton Reed. Can you break down who's got Fulton Reed tonight with no Colton Parayko, Jamie?
Yeah, Fulton Reed's going to have to be covered by Cam Fowler and Nick Leddy tonight. Probably a little sprinkle in some Broberg.
Got to double him.
Justin Falk as well.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, it's a big guy.
He is a big guy. The other Bash brothers out there too, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, Dean Portman.
Yeah. From Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah. So for me, it's pretty easy today. Don't underestimate your opponent. You know, you've played well, but as a team, like you've known that you're playing against good opponents, and you've had your foot on the gas. You know, you had the Seattle Kraken come in that were, I think, 4 points behind you at the time in the standings, and you took them behind the woodshed too at Enterprise Center, which was great. But you've had tough opponents, so don't let a lesser opponent, at least in the standings, affect how you approach the game. The Ducks are playing pretty good hockey here of late as it is too. So please, make sure you're ready to go with the same intensity. All the other stuff is the same. Managing the puck properly. You don't want to turn the puck over. It's a young team with lots of high-end skill that they've got. So you don't want to play that track meet game with them. This is a game you want to keep in the trenches. Put the puck in the corner, go get it, work the puck along the walls, get to the net front. Make this an ugly game, a game that's not sexy. And that way there you get some of these young, high-flying, cocky players for the Ducks to be disinterested because they'd rather get their points in a different game.
Yeah. Like Kenny Wu.
Woo, 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 Kenny Woo.
No, Jamie? Yeah.
Related to Katie?
Nope. Nope. Different spelling?
We're not sure. We didn't ask her.
Different spelling. But maybe. Yeah. All right, let's light that lamp.
I don't know.
But a couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shooter! I must confess you scored first.
Well, who was the first person?
Breakaway! Shoots! Score! We got hockey to learn.
All right, somebody got on the scoreboard the other night. Was that you, Marsh?
That was me. I'm in the lead now.
Oh, you sick. You know what? You sick unit. Nice job, Marsh.
15 points.
15 now.
15 points.
Wow.
Robert Thomas, huh?
Robert the Thomas.
That's right. You had Robert the Thomas.
Carey,
for sure.
14 points. Anthony, you have 10. Jamie is 9. So tonight I'm going to go with Lester Averman.
Lester Averman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of the Ducks. Now, you can't choose him because he's not a Blue.
He's not a real person. Gotcha.
No Adam Banks.
He's not a real person either.
Gotcha.
No Goldberg, the goalie for 10 points. Nope.
We did play out at one point.
Yeah.
He actually scored the game-winning goal.
That's right. Yeah.
He did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, I'm going to go with a former Duck then in Cam Fowler.
Okay.
All right.
Marshall loves them storylines.
He does. Give me Zach Bulduke.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
I thought a lot about this and the way that I can kind of continue to not just chip away, but eventually lead. Give me Jordan Kyrou.
I already wrote it down.
Yeah, give me Jordan Kyrou, Marsh. Thank you. Jamie?
Going right back with Hollywood. Dylan Holloway.
Dylan Holloway Brown. Sounds good. All right. Jamie, have a great call tonight on the FanDuel Sports Network. We'll certainly be tuned in while also listening to 101 ESPN. That's how we roll. Jamie, we'll see you next week, buddy.
You got it, boys. Have a good one.
All right. See ya. We've got the Gauntlet next, and either Marsh or I have got some work to do.
Please.
Because we got a returner.
Yeah.
Once again, Sean, round 3, next on 101 ESPN.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
404, your time check is brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We got Sean back for round 3 of the Gauntlet. What's up, Sean?
What's up, Anthony? How you guys doing?
Oh, we're not doing too good, Sean. You're back again. We like you, but
you're a good guy. I'm only back Monday too.
Oh! Well, now I got to know who you're going against now.
Oh, give me Anthony.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to test whether or not you're a good guy and take Marsh.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
All right. Wow. Sean, good luck to you, man.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony is headed out to the cone of silence. Sean, you know how this goes. Tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
All right. For those that don't know, if you answer the question correctly, you get 2 points. If you answer correctly without the options, you get... Sorry. If you answer the question correctly without the options, you get 2 points. You answer it correctly with the options, you get 1 point. And if you answer incorrectly, you get 0 points. And that laugh that you heard from Marsha and I is because... Well, Anthony doesn't really like this category at all.
And Sean's been asking for it for the past 2 to 3 days.
You got random, Sean.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be rough on old Anthony, isn't it?
He's going to mail it in, too.
Yeah, he might.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll find out.
Oh, he's going to mail it in. All right, here we go. When did the United States officially enter World War I? We need the year, please.
1941, final answer.
Question number 2. Along with Tiger Woods, who has won the most PGA Tour tournaments in a season?
Okay, so in a season, let's give me the options.
Options are Scotty Scheffler, Phil Mickelson, or Vijay Singh.
Let's go Phil, final answer.
Question number 3. Giraffes are very social animals and roam around in groups called what?
I mean, there's herds. Probably one of the answers. It's probably something weird. Let me get the options.
Is it monoliths, towers, or reserves?
Wow. Can I get those again?
Monoliths, towers, or reserves?
Let's do reserves. Final answer.
Question number 4. In Indiana Jones, in The Last Crusade, Harrison Ford's iconic title character must once again locate an artifact of supernatural power. Can you name it?
Which movie was this? Sorry.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
That would have been... Oh, man, I haven't watched these in a while. Let me get the options.
Your options are the Holy Grail, the Armor of Achilles, or the Sword of Excalibur. Can you say that one more time?
Can I get the options again? Sorry.
Yeah, options are the Holy Grail, the Armor of Achilles, or the Sword of Excalibur.
I mean, the Holy Grail is the only one I can remember in the movie, so let's just go that. Holy Grail, final answer.
All right. We'll get Anthony back in here. How you feel, Sean?
All right. Not as good as the other couple days, but we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll see how Anthony feels, and we'll get him a chance to get his earbuds in. How you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing good.
You doing great?
Yes.
Was it quiet in the cone of silence?
No, it wasn't.
You're in there talking.
That's okay.
Okay. Well,
actually, Grant and Bradford were chatting.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Category's football.
Okay, let's do this.
Marshy.
Yeah, pack lunch. It's random.
It is random.
Okay, all right.
I tried to give you a little.
Okay.
See how relaxed you are?
You know what? Here's the thing. I've owed Random something for about a week now.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, I'm not gonna pout today.
All
Let's
right, here we go.
I'm ready.
When did the United States officially enter World War I? We need the year, please.
World War I. World War II was in like the 40s, right? So World War I would have been a couple decades prior. Can I have the options, please?
1917, 1921, or 1922?
I was thinking 1916, so one of the options is 1917, you said?
1917, 1921, or 1922?
1917, final answer.
Question number 2. Along with Tiger Woods, who has won the most PGA Tour tournaments in a season?
Most PGA tournaments in one season or in a career?
In a season.
In a season. I mean, Phil would be the obvious choice, right? Or like Sam Snead or something. I can ask for the options, get the outlier, or just go with Phil. I'll just go with Phil Mickelson. Final answer.
Question number 3. Giraffes are very social animals and roam around in groups called what?
No idea. I'll take the options, please.
Is it monoliths, towers, or reserves?
Monolith, towers, or reserves? I'll take reserves. Final answer.
Question number 4. In Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Harrison Ford's iconic title character must once again locate an artifact of supernatural power. Can you name it?
I've actually never seen these.
Really? I thought you had.
No. I've never seen these movies. I'm not big on like adventure movies. Like, let's go find stuff. Nah, the hell with that.
You don't like a good MacGuffin?
Nah. So you said supernatural?
I'll just read the question
Please
again.
do.
In Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Harrison Ford's iconic title character must once again locate an artifact of supernatural power. Name it.
All the options.
Options are the Holy Grail, the armor of Achilles, or the sword of Excalibur.
I'll go with the first one. A, final answer.
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
Monty Python's.
And the Holy Grail.
All right, let's start there. In Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Harrison Ford's iconic title character must once again locate an artifact of supernatural power. Name it. Sean, you said the Holy Grail. Anthony, you said, I have never seen any of these. Go with the first one. Which was Holy Grail? Correct answer is?
That is the Holy Grail.
But you both needed the options. 1-1.
Nice.
Giraffes are very social animals that roam around in groups called what? Sean, you took the options. You said reserves. Anthony, you also took the options. You said reserves.
Wow.
The correct answer is?
It is towers.
I mean, they're tall as hell. Why wouldn't it be towers?
I thought it was too obvious. I'm like, somebody put this on there to be funny.
Along with Tiger Woods, who won the most PGA Tour tournaments in a season? Sean, you said Phil Mickelson.
Oh, wow.
Anthony, you also said Phil Mickelson. The correct answer is?
It is Vijay Singh.
I would have never guessed that.
Score check.
1-1.
Comes down to this. When the United States officially entered when did the United States officially enter World War I? We need the year, please. Sean, without the options, you said 1941. Anthony, with the options, said, I thought 1916, maybe. But 1917 is close enough. Correct answer is?
It is 1917.
Sean,
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Sean, you're thinking World War II?
Absolutely, and I'm never going to hear the end of this.
Yeah. You answered.
This is the one question that I was hoping for because it's right in my wheelhouse, and I just didn't listen. I'm never going to get the end of this.
He answered so quickly. When he said it, I'm like, "Oh!"
As soon as you read off the answer, I'm like,
I would have answered even faster if I actually heard it correct. I just totally misheard it.
Oh man, sorry, Sean. I do feel for you on that
my
one.
fault. I can't blame anyone but myself.
Yeah, but we've all been there. I mean, I didn't even listen to a question last week, and I had India in Africa, so I that sucks, man. Sorry about that.
Good job, Sean.
Yeah, good job getting this far, man. All right, hey, have a great weekend. Thanks for listening.
You guys too.
All right, take care. I do feel bad. Like Sean seems. I could see where he's going there.
Oh yeah,
because I'm like World War II's in the 40s, so that would make sense that he jumped to the 40s if he thought World War II.
Well, you don't really think about World War I. Like, it's not recent.
No, it's not.
Neither.
No, it's not.
Recent.
Well, it's the most recent. The most recent World War is World War II.
Very true, Marsh.
So,
very true.
I think there's a movie called 1917, if I'm not mistaken.
You might be right.
I think it's a pretty good movie, too.
You might be right. I'm getting a lot of crap for the Indiana Jones thing. I've got no apologies. My buddy Mark texted me. He goes, "Who's never seen the Indiana Jones series?" I texted him right back with something very snarky, which I won't say on air.
You telling me you never watched The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
No. I had no interest. What about you, CD? Big Indiana Jones guy?
I like Indiana Jones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. It's out there
So they're
going
saying
on adventures and crap?
they heard World War II. Did I say World War II?
I'm about to check right
Please
now.
check.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure I said World War I.
Oh, no. This could impact everything.
If it is, then he will be back tomorrow.
On Saturday? You
Not
coming
tomorrow.
in?
Not tomorrow.
What are we going to do here?
He's checking.
If you did say World War II. Now, Marsha's listening to it.
Are you ready? Here, well, we're going to find out right now.
Let's hear it. When did the United States officially enter World War I? We need the year, please.
1941, final answer.
Oh, wow.
Guys,
Nice job, CD.
thank you.
Nice job.
I'm a good person. Pay my taxes.
The Snake Pit's got your back, too. TLW 1904. I heard one. Splashback Duke says, nope. World War I. I thought I heard. Oh, Gator said I thought I heard World War II.
That's like.
I mentioned it, but then.
Yeah. But, sometimes we don't fully listen to the question, and sometimes we answer what we think we heard. Learned that in therapy, relationships. You got to be fully accountable and intent on listening, not listening to answer, Anthony. That's one of the things that gets you in trouble.
Yeah.
When you're such a rush to answer the question that you don't fully hear the question. You have to listen completely and then respond. Take a deep breath. Pause, breathe, answer. Don't be and you right there ready to jump in. Nah, you gotta.
Or don't have poop in your pants because you got random and not listen to anything, and then have your brain shut off on you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good advice, CD. Real good advice.
Congratulations, Anthony. I know this one's been a real stickler for you. This random.
Thank you, Marsh. Like this was big. I'll be honest. I have not slept since I said Africa.
Well, yeah. And why would you? You know, this is your first random win of the year.
Yeah, I wanted random. This was huge, guys. Huge.
Like,
I can look at my kids again.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. All right.
Very proud of you.
What's trending is next on 101 ESPN. The Arch Madness tournament is going on right now at Enterprise Center, and you can still head down to Enterprise Center and become part of the action. How about check out the Family Fun Pack? It's $104, and what that gets you is 4 single-session tickets to one of the sessions at the MAC tournament, the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, I should say. The tickets will also come with 4 large popcorns, 4 large sodas as well. So again, you can take the family downtown and enjoy college basketball. And it's one of the best tournaments, best sporting events that I love going to, attending each and every year in St. Louis. Enterprise Center is always exciting. The games are fantastic. Tomorrow you got more action. Tonight you've got more action too, as Valpo is taking on Northern Iowa. Missouri State is also taking on Bradley. And eventually on Sunday you'll have the championship game. But again, check out the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. We call it Arch Madness. For $104, you get the family fun pack, 4 large sodas, 4 large popcorns, and 4 tickets to a single session of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. It's running through March 8th, which is on Sunday, the Arch Madness Tournament.
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, what's trending? Your St. Louis Blues are standing pat at the NHL trade deadline. No moves made. This is the team that they're rolling with. Do you agree with the decision?
I'm good with. I'm good with it. I really am. I didn't really expect them to make a significant deal. I thought, if anything, maybe they would add a third line forward. Maybe they would add a veteran defenseman. But because they didn't do anything, I mean, nothing was going to be significant. We know that. And you weren't going to get the equivalent of Colton Parayko, obviously. So, yeah, I'm fine with it. Had they made a small move, I would have understood that too.
I think the thing that, again, to recognize and understand is Army has a plan and has really stated what he thinks this team is and where they should be and how they should be tracking their progress along the way. And I think right now, if you were to ask him 2 years ago what the process would be in 2025, he would probably say right here, like right where they are in this spot, competing on a nightly basis, maybe not in the first half of the season because you got a coach fired, but right now competing on a nightly basis with an opportunity to make the playoffs with a younger group of guys and adding more of those younger guys here in the near future.
Yeah.
I think if you gave him some truth serum and made him tell you the truth, he would tell you that. Yeah, we're right where we think we should be because this is how I expected this to go. Now, it's not how I thought we'd get here. I didn't think Monty would be our head coach at this point, but hell, we're here. So, yeah, I think he's fine with it. And I think the Blues are I'm fine with where they are right now because I don't have unrealistic expectations of this team winning a Stanley Cup in this moment. Mm-hmm. Give it a few years. Give them a chance to grow. Give them a chance to learn how to win and play. And I think that shift has happened since Monty has become the head coach and since February.
Yeah.
You know, and once you got that break after the Four Nations tournament, like you are playing at a extremely high level.
What's the biggest move of the day for you guys? Like, which one really shocked you? For me, it's Brad Marchand going to the Panthers. Like, I just find that to be crazy. Like, to me, he was always going to be a Boston Bruin. It's just wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I think from a shocking standpoint, I think that was probably the most surprising move.
Mikko Rantanen?
The Mikko Rantanen one, I think, was significant.
I don't know if it was shocking, though.
Right.
Like, there has been talks over the past, few days, few weeks even, about Carolina maybe moving on from Rantanen because he doesn't want to sign there.
I guess.
But not what they got in return. Like, I think for me, it's
you look at the return.
The return and the fact that they just got him. And like, you know what?
It is odd, though. Yeah.
Like, that's weird. Like, he played, 13 games? Mm-hmm. I was going to say the Panthers, the Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes, yeah.
Like, and then you're like, and then it feels like you got a lot in return for that 13 games.
Right.
I think it's pretty good.
Dallas is just
they're locked and loaded. They are not planning on losing in the Western Conference Final.
That's.
I wonder what the odds are now in terms of.
BK did it. I think he did it earlier. I thought he said it was 6-1.
Okay, that has to move them up for sure. And
I think it moved up to 6-1.
I can tell you
after that.
And they're gonna be a tough team. They were a good team last year.
They're 6-1. They're the favorite.
Wow.
The Dallas Stars are the favorite to win it all. Panthers are plus 650, so they're right there as well. Oilers plus 800, so 8-1. Colorado's 10-1. Washington 11-1. Tampa same.
If you had to pick a team, knowing what we know now, to win the Stanley Cup, are you going with the Dallas Stars or are you picking somebody else?
No, I'd take Dallas. I would take Dallas.
Like based on the money too.
What don't they have?
Yeah. Well, they got great goaltending.
I think if you're just looking at what teams have had in the past that have won recently, they've got the goaltending, they've got the defense. I think they've got more than enough scoring. I think they've got balanced scoring. Yeah, I would take Dallas, but that's also the cop-out because they're the favorite.
The one thing they don't have, though, is a good-looking uniform. I hate their uniforms.
Whose uniforms do you like?
He's a
connoisseur.
Uniform guy.
I was going to say a snob.
That is probably a good
negative
word, too. We can use it.
He's a uniform snob. Like, if it's not tightened together, Marshy will tell you about yourself.
You don't like it.
Well, throw out a team.
The Oilers.
Yeah, I like the Oilers uniforms. They're classic.
Okay, see, this is now I agree with you, CD. He is a snob. Because most uniform snobs or like wine snobs or whatever, there's almost like it's got to be classic.
It doesn't have to be classic.
It just needs to be crisp and clean.
It's got to look good. It's got to look like a hockey jersey.
Yeah.
What about the Detroit Red Wings?
Classic, great uniform.
Okay.
What about the New Jersey Devils?
They've had the same uniforms. Now their third jersey, it just says Jersey on it.
You like that?
No, it looks stupid.
Okay. What about the Rangers?
Classic.
I like the Rangers. I do.
You do?
I do.
I always like the Statue of Liberty jersey.
Also, great uniform.
I used to love that.
He's onto something.
Just the Rangers right
across. Who don't you like?
Who don't I
what
like?
About the Penguins. I've always liked
love
the Penguins. I do love the Penguins.
Didn't like their Vegas gold uniforms. Like the Vegas gold color, but now that they went back to the strictly black and yellow, great uniform.
Montreal,
great uniform.
Okay.
You like everybody then?
No, that's not true.
Well, no, I got one. The Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, I love them.
Oh, really?
I like the orange. Yeah, it's different.
All right.
It's different.
Let's see here. Tampa Bay?
No. Looks like a clip art logo.
Okay.
And it looks way too similar to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Senators.
Very boring. Senators, love it.
Wild.
Stupid.
Okay.
Their home and their road uniforms aren't connected.
Predators.
They've grown on me.
You like the Preds?
They're okay.
Okay.
They're okay.
Flames.
Love them.
I was going to say.
Those are sweet.
It's classic, man.
They're sweet.
Flyers.
No.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
That's where it stops?
Like, that's classic. That's just classic dumb.
I also like the Kings' new uniforms.
Yeah.
I like them, but I don't like the matte black helmet.
Okay.
You know, I also don't like teams that wear dark helmets on the road with their white uniforms. I think it looks dumb.
What is the worst uniform?
The worst uniform in the league?
Because you've given us a lot that you've liked. What's the worst uniform?
Oh, geez.
I'll throw it. Kraken.
No, I like those.
Sabres, Sharks, Blackhawks, Jets.
Jets uniforms.
Vancouver.
Stink.
Vancouver Canucks.
The Jets uniforms are terrible.
Okay.
Terrible uniforms.
Capitals. Avalanche.
No, actually, I don't like the Capitals. They're still in the Reebok Edge era, I believe. Like, it looks like what they looked like back in like the mid 2000s. Yeah. I think it looks dumb. They should go back to the old one with the red on the top. It says Capitals, got the little stars. So sick.
You're like what you're talking about with the helmet and stuff. It reminds me of, I hate when football teams have silver pants but white jerseys. It drives me crazy.
Like Ohio State.
Yeah, I hate that. Wow. At least they have the silver helmet though too.
Yeah.
There's some teams that wear the different color helmet. And then, you know, like they'll have a black helmet.
So you don't like no, because the Seahawks, when they wear, you said white. They wear white and gray pants though. Like, I like their color. Anthony.
I like when they wear the dark blue better. The dark blue pants, white jersey, dark blue helmet.
I like the old Seahawks uniforms.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Silver, white, silver.
Yeah. Classic. I hate it. Love it.
I don't really like Vegas's uniforms either. I'm glad they switched to gold since they're called the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
But I just think it looks dumb. I don't like it. So.
Okay, there you go. That's what's trending. Bunch of uniform talk.
Jackson would appreciate it.
Well, when the Blues don't do anything, you know. What do you want? What do you want from us? Why don't we do Around the Diamond? Did we pick out a new one?
We did.
Because you got Brendan Donovan on here.
Yeah, no, it's Nolan Arenado.
Next on 101 ESPN. Underdog Fantasy is available in our market, and you now have an opportunity to cash in big. For as little as $1, you can play contests, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money, all by playing at Underdog Fantasy, and all because you've got hunches on certain players' stats. You can go higher or lower depending on what you like and what you don't like. Maybe you've got a hunch that a player in an NHL game is going to go higher on his point total, but when it comes to another NBA, a different NBA game, you like that, you like a player to go lower on his rebound total. You can combine at Underdog Fantasy. You don't have to just stick with one game. You don't have to just stick with one sport. And I love the fact too that if you got a player that gets injured in the first period or the first quarter or first half of the game, you can get your entry fee back. Underdog Fantasy is fair about that. So it's great. If you want to play, check it out. Download the app. download the Underdog Fantasy app, type in my promo code, which is Anthony. So if you use Underdog today, use that promo code Anthony. You'll get a free selection as part of your first cash entry, and you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit, all courtesy of Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues stand pat at the NHL trade deadline. Doug Armstrong addressed the media at 2:30 earlier today. If you missed that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. It'll be on our full show. So make sure you head there. The podcast page is brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues will take on the Anaheim Ducks tonight. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9. We're going to go around the diamond and talk about Nolan Arenado. That's next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Let's go around the diamond with St. Louis Cardinals.
All right, today we're going to talk about Nolan Arenado for our Cardinals Around the Diamond segment with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. What is your biggest question mark surrounding Nolan Arenado? Going a couple of different ways with this. CD, what's yours?
Is he the version of himself that he was a few years ago? Is he an older version of himself? I'm not worried about. I'm just going on to the understanding that he's on the roster from here forward for the next 3 years, and until something else happens, that's what it'll be. But which version of Nolan Arenado are we getting? Are we getting the guy that? It sounds crazy to say, but are we getting the guy that finished top 3 in MVP voting?
Yeah.
Getting a lesser, just a little bit lesser version of that, or are we getting a guy that struggled, I think, more than he would have liked to see himself struggle last year? So that's my question. Which version? He's still going to play good defense. He's still one of the top third basemen. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Defense alone. So, you know. You don't think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you didn't.
I was just listening to
you. Had that face.
Yeah,
you had that face. I did.
It looked like it was a dead stare. Like, this idiot here. What is he?
No, you just got done saying.
You didn't give me a yeah. I agree. Or nah, you didn't give me nothing. You just kind of stone-faced killered right at me and just like. So I had no clue what you thought.
Carey, first of all, we're brothers. You know that.
Yeah.
Second of all, you just got done saying we all need to listen more.
You're right.
You know, I was listening. I was going to wait for you were done. Yeah, absolutely. He's a Hall of Famer.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I did the beat.
You did. See,
yes, I think he's a Hall of Famer.
That's also progress. You're learning in real time.
Yeah.
Like.
I'm trying.
You're taking it from the classroom to right now.
Absolutely.
When we're live.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't breathe too much, though. We might get some people complaining.
Can't do that. Yeah.
I think for me, my biggest question mark is if this guy's actually going to be here the whole season.
I think that's a good question.
Thank you.
I think that's a real good question.
Appreciate it.
We'll just do that. That's good for radio. My biggest question mark is basically your two combined. Mm-hmm. It's what are we going to see out of him heading into the trade deadline? And to Marsh's question, will he still be here if a team that's a contender that's willing to take on Arenado, who had himself a big first half, will they be willing to eat that contract, maybe give up less in terms of prospects, because if you're going to eat the contract, you have to give up the top prospects, and take Arenado on. But look, we already know this is a player in decline. He's older. He's in decline. That doesn't mean that his production's going to continue to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
So will we see a little bit of a bump this season? He had a 149 WRC plus in 2022. He had a 106 in 2023. He had a 102 in 24. So from 149 down to 106 and then 102. I mean, that if he could still hover around, if he can get back up to maybe 110, we're talking about a player that's 10 percentage points higher than average. The power production is what's really down for Arenado. But he's still putting the ball in play. He's still a productive player. He's just not somebody that's going to hit 25 plus home runs. He had 16 last year. Can he get that up to 20? Can he be a 20 home run guy and be a WRC plus player of 105 to 110? If so, there's a lot of value when you also combine that with this defense. And I think a team would be interested in that. CD, were you going to say something?
I'm going to let you finish. And then I got a proposition for you.
All right. What impact can this player bring to the team? This is interesting with Arenado. Because this is, what impact can he make? Well, he's probably going to be hitting in the middle of your order.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals do not have a legit cleanup hitter. I think he's the cleanup hitter by default right now. He's the de facto cleanup hitter. But again, we're talking about somebody who has dropped in power production. If you're going to hit cleanup, if you're going to hit 6, you could be a 20 home run guy, no problem. You're going to hit 4, I don't think 16 home runs are going to do it. So what kind of impact can he have? Well, he can really lift this lineup, or he can really sink it. Because I don't know if they have another. I don't even say I don't know. They don't have another cleanup hitter on this roster.
I agree.
Unless unless Jordan Walker comes out of nowhere. Or...
Then you put Wilson Contreras there, but who's batting third?
Right.
Yeah. So you just flip flop him. I like Ivan Herrera. I don't know if he has the power to be your cleanup hitter.
Ivan Herrera.
I do like him though.
I think he
hits the ball.
I think he would be a great 5 hitter.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the question for what he does in the lineup is what does he bring is he can have an impact on the field. Like he can have an impact defensively because he's a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. Still, he was top 3 last year. Like he's still playing at an elite level on that side. So can he impact the defense in a way that he always has over his entire career?
I'm just ready to hear what this little game TD
my
wants
proposition.
to play.
Yeah,
The proposition.
Right.
That's what it was.
Nolan Arenado, Ryan Helsley, pitching, playing, stellar. But come trade deadline.
Yeah.
All right, set the scene. Those 2 guys, highly touted. Everybody wants them. They're playing at the elite all-star level that we know that they're capable of. But the Cardinals, they're in first place.
Whoa. Watch what you say. You don't want to crap on the Cardinals.
Are you
we didn't crap on the Blues today.
Are you now in return for such great players as Helsley and Nolan Arenado? You getting, and I mean top tier pitching prospects, like 1 year away, and maybe an elite pick a position catcher.
This is a no-brainer for me.
Do tell.
I'm trading him. Do the Dodgers still exist?
Yeah, they're still
like
around.
in your proposition. Did the Dodgers still around?
Yeah, they're still there.
Phillies?
There's not an alternate world. They're still in the majors.
Phillies?
Yeah.
Braves?
Yeah.
Padres? Diamondbacks? Okay, yeah, I'm trading him.
I really can't see, to be honest, one of the big spenders trading for Nolan Arenado. I really can't because of Minetaka Murakami, who is going to be eligible to be in Major League Baseball next season. Big third baseman guy, hits towering shots. I can't see them wanting to go with that contract with a chance to bring that guy onto their team.
When giraffes walk around in groups, they're called towers.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Found that out today.
Yeah. All right, that's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
Damn.
What?
316 says CD. I assume that would mean that hell is frozen over.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
That's a bit much.
Okay. That's a little... Some hyperbole on that, which I don't mind. Has your opinion changed on the Blues in terms of if they can make a run over the last 24 hours? And you know what? Why don't we change that? Not make a run. Just make the playoffs. Has your opinion changed over the last 24 hours about whether or not the Blues can simply make the playoffs as a wild card? That's next on 101 ESPN. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. Let's hand out some Blues tickets right now. We got shot to score a pair of tickets to see your St. Louis Blues take on the Vancouver Canucks. I don't know, maybe there's a Canucks fan listening. You never know. On March 20th at Enterprise Center, the first 12,000 fans that night will receive a mystery Blues hat courtesy of Ticketmaster. Get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com/promotions. You can also register to win tickets to the game at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. Carey, what do you got for trivia today? I'm going to put you on the spot.
What is a group of giraffes called?
What is a group of giraffe called? There you go. Text in now. To the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646, and you'll have an opportunity, if you're the 101st texter with the correct answer, to go see the Blues and the Canucks play on March 20th. There you have it. All right. Has your opinion changed on the Blues over the last 24 hours in terms of them being able to make the playoffs? Because we're all jacked up coming off the win against the Kings, and then the Colton Parayko news hit, and then the Blues, decided, and we've talked about this, we're okay with it, but the Blues decided not to make a move. Carey, you say no.
I've been fine with where they are. I think I told you, I think I said a couple of weeks ago, if they are able to win 3 or 4 games in a row, you don't need to do anything at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. You've shown that you are able to put together a win streak, which was something they hadn't done of more than 2 games up until that point. And so you're playing better, you're playing harder, you're playing for one another. And I don't think you break up the chemistry of that team, especially with the talks of, we're going to trade Braden Shen. You're going to trade the captain? You're just going to say the hell with it then, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing. And it's not always just about, this. You can't just put pieces together like you do on a puzzle. Like there is emotion and feeling and camaraderie and how you communicate with certain people that makes you play better together than just adding another pill. We just add somebody in because on paper, this person he has more points and, he's got a little bit more physicality to it and just put him in. He might be a a-hole. Like he might be somebody that you don't want to be around as a teammate. So you make sure that, you keep that group together. I'm great with where they are right now.
Yeah, I think I'm still high on them. Like I like what I've seen. I'd be dumb to say that like that percentage, like if it was at a certain percentage, that the percentage is lowered because Colton Parayko's out. Like I would just feel dumb to have that same type of mentality. But I still have faith that they can do it. I like the schedule that they have coming up. I do have faith that these defense are going to step up and do their job. I think it's going to be tight. I definitely think it's going to come down to the final few games, but I just have faith. I think the way that they're playing right now, the way that Jim Montgomery has this team locked in, details matter, Anthony, especially in an investigation.
Did you watch last night?
I have not. I'm looking forward to watching.
That's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Talking about Reacher?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, latest episode is... Now, you're disappointed in the last episode.
I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I liked it. I just, you're
disappointed.
I wanted... I'm not going to say anything. People probably haven't watched it. But Carey especially hasn't watched it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Carey hasn't seen any of it.
Which is one of the more disappointing things to come out of this week.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Crap, but my man won't watch Reacher. I don't like it.
Indiana Jones is a little bit more... iconic.
Reacher would have that guy in a headlock in
I don't know. I don't know.
4 seconds.
I don't know.
Maybe Reacher's a little bit of a bigger player in pop culture if, Tom Cruise didn't play him first in a movie. Like, who knows, I don't know.
It's not my Reacher.
No, it's not. Yeah. Not even the description in the books. But anyways, no, I'm still
going back to the...
I'm still high on this team.
I think we also have to take a look at what's in front of the Blues, i.e. who is standing in the way of a wild card spot. And right now, it is the Avalanche and the Flames. Avalanche at 76 points. See ya. But that second wild card, so that's what we're really talking about. You've got the Flames and you've got the Canucks. That's it. Flames scoring... They're really inconsistent. They have a lack of elite scoring talent. Inconsistent on the power play. I mean, any team that we talk about in this wild card mix, Flames, Capitals, Blues, Utah, they're all going to have warts. If they didn't, we'd be talking about them being in one of the top 3 spots in either the Central or the Pacific. But when it comes to the Flames and the Canucks, these aren't necessarily high hurdles to overcome. But the Blues have got to continue to play like they're playing. So to me, it's more about the Blues and less about the opponent. But I do think if we're going to consider where we're at in terms of over the last 24 hours, how we feel about them making the playoffs, you got to at least consider the Flames and the Canucks have their issues. And I remember CD a couple of weeks ago, we said, going into the trade deadline, where do you want to see the Blues? And at least one person, and we agreed, said, where is their goal differential?
Yeah.
Are they plus? Are they getting toward, are they at least almost around even? Well, they're -7, but compared to Calgary at -19 and Vancouver's got a -18 goal differential, you at least gotta like your chances.
I said they've been playing better. I think at that time they were like -18 or 20 something in goal differential when we were talking about that. And you look at all these other playoff teams, other than I think the Minnesota Wild, they're all in the plus for goal differential. So yeah, they are trending in the right direction. And I think you saw it, you heard it, you saw it with Army, you heard it today. He's confident in the group that they have. And even though they got their best player, depending on who you ask, they're one of their best players injured, they still feel confident in this group to keep going forward and keep playing hard.
We got a text from the 636. Monty's interview yesterday really helped me calm down a bit after the Parayko news. This team has me convinced with the way they're playing as a group until proven otherwise. Love the depth and experience on the blue line paired with a young but motivated forward group that's found chemistry, combined with Bennington's ability to give us a chance to win every night. Let's fast lane go.
See?
I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah. Well, okay. Well,
you don't want to run through the brick wall. It's fine.
No,
What's
not
the deal?
yet. Let's let it play out.
You think the Ducks are going to win tonight?
I didn't say that. Didn't say that.
Felt like it.
Run it back. You can rewind the tape.
You said World War. No, I don't want to. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. No, you definitely said it right that time. We had the evidence.
Thank you.
I think it was last week or maybe it was earlier this week. I don't know. It's been a long week. Maybe it was earlier this week. We talked about the Cardinals, the lineup. What's the best lineup? Can you have, should they pick a lane in terms of whether or not they're going to be more of an offensive lineup or one that you're leaning more toward defense? Can the Cardinals even have both? What would be their optimal lineup from an offensive and defensive standpoint? That's the next on 101 ESPN. Over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location with heavily discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. I'm talking about Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. They got their Nissan Now sales event going on throughout the month of March. So you can take advantage of exclusive offers like $359 down and $359 per month on select new Kicks and $449 down and $449 per month on select new Frontiers. These are not leases. These are vehicles that you can purchase or get yourself a great financing deal. And speaking of financing, if you got credit issues or if you're stuck in a current loan, there's going to be other dealerships that overpromise and then underdeliver when it comes to financing. Not at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. They're confident that anyone that walks through the door can drive away with a brand new Nissan. They're highly rated on Google, so rest assured that you'll love your experience. 2025 Nissan models also come with a free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes. Plus, you get that peace of mind with their 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you need to bring it back, you can. If you're not completely satisfied either with the vehicle or the purchase, the sales experience, you can bring it back and they'll refund your money and they'll set you up with something else. When you head out to Herculaneum this weekend, tell them Stalter sent you. Make sure you also check out AutoCentersNissan.com. your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Can the Cardinals have both? Can they have a strong offensive lineup that doesn't take away from their defense? Lars Nootbaar, not a center fielder. But if you want to go heavier offense, that's probably the way to do it, to have Lars in center field, and then you go from there. But for me, I don't think their best lineup, their optimal lineup, is one that is just heavily focused on offense. To me, you have to have Scott. You don't have to, but I like the idea of having Victor Scott in center field, cover more ground than what Newt can cover. And CD, I'm with you. Having Donovan at second base, putting Gorman either in the DH spot or the bench, and having Newt play. To me, he'd be more of a right fielder than a left fielder, but they love Jordan Walker in right. They've apparently seen all he can do out in right, and they say, you the man, Jordan.
Yeah.
Take that right field spot. Having Newton left, Donovan at second, I think that's probably your strongest defense up the middle, and you still have more than enough offense. Even if Gorman's not in the lineup, he can come off the bench.
I agree. I think that's the best way to go about it. You probably have Burley at DH in that situation, or Gorman, whoever's hitting the ball well, and who's not, they have to watch the game. But for me, I just when we heard Ollie say last week or 2 weeks ago that they were going to put Victor Scott in, or he was going to play some left field and Newt would play some center field, and I didn't know if they were playing at the same time. So that'd be kind of confusing. I don't know, but I would rather have Victor Scott or Siani. I thought Siani played extremely well last year. Now it'll boil down to who's hitting the ball better between those two, and if they're hitting well enough where you're not missing anything in that spot in the lineup, then you got to have one of those two guys playing, and then you put, like you said, Lars Nootbaar on left field, and that's your best combination, in my opinion, of hitters and fielders that gives you the best chance to win each night. Now, none of those guys pitch, Anthony. I don't know if you know that. So
Shohei can pitch. He can hit and pitch.
He doesn't play for the Cardinals. He plays for my Dodgers.
I thought that Newt got him to come here in free agency.
He was trying. I think the Toasted Ravs might have thrown it off. Not enough, possibly. Something like that.
Okay.
Not enough free Toasted Ravs. Free Zoo, good. Emo's Pizza, probably loved it. Toasted Ravs was one thing that. Why do you look like that? What do you? What is wrong with you? What do you have?
Did Newt give him?
You think that's what caused it? You think that's what caused the deal to be nixed?
Out of all the things you said, yeah, I do.
Shame on you, Anthony.
No,
How
not
long
shame
you been
on
living
me.
here?
15 years.
Your kid's from here, right?
Yep.
Born and raised, right?
Yep.
Wife born and raised here?
Yep.
Okay. Your kid, you're basically a St. Louisan. Mm-hmm. Are you raising? I know you as a man. Mm-hmm. I love you.
You're raising your kids, right? They eat that pizza. Yeah. I'm not gonna stop them. If they like it, they like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Killian does.
He understands.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Killian's diet is
whatever he gets a hold of.
Basically ding-dongs and anything that his grandmother brings over, which is just sugar. So I don't know if he's got the most sophisticated palate as a 7-year-old. I love my boy. But if you're going that route, I don't know. I don't know if that's the hill you die on.
He understands. Trust me on these things.
All right, fair enough. Anyways, I thought Shohei was supposed to be here. Now this makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know why Newt's here then. I mean, you had one job, Newt.
What? Now you want to get rid of Newt as well?
You had 2 jobs, Newt. Stay healthy and bring Shohei to St. Louis. You've done neither. Yeah. Yep.
That sucks.
All right, let's get a spring training report.
We're flying down to Florida for a spring training report on 101 ESPN. Our Redbird Spring Training Report is brought to you by Rawlings. Visit the all-new Rawlings experience at Westport Plaza today.
All right, Marsh, now you got some positive statistics on our St. Louis Cardinals. A lot of people talking about how we just crap on our Redbirds, but you got some good stuff today.
Sure.
No.
Bring us the statistics. Let's all feel good about our Redbirds.
We know the people love some good statistics. I'm just looking at the the batting average of all the teams here in spring training in 2025, and I'm just scrolling and scrolling. 203. 203.
That's good, right?
That is your Cardinals batting average.
203 hits.
No.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, that's not it at all.
I don't care if it's spring training. 203 hits. That's fantastic.
No, that's the batting average. 203. That's good enough. That's good enough, Anthony, for dead last in the league.
Still early.
We're talking about hitting versus defense in terms of what you want to do for the regular season. If things don't change, do you have to put out the best defense to sort of offset what we're seeing right now?
Definitely.
There's probably a lot of people in their cars or in their cubicles or whatever. They're screaming like, "No, you have to put more offense." Unless you have it. We got that argument like last week from somebody thinking the snake pit. Like you got to go offense. You don't have one. At least not a good enough one. You don't have the components. You don't have a offensive player, let alone multiple offensive players to necessitate a full lineup.
Marshy, I'm going to have to ask you to get these 1970,
did you get the
1980
reference?
stats out here. Nobody cares about batting average. You know what they care about? OPS. What are they at? Where are they ranked in OPS? Ooh. Nobody cares about batting average anymore, right?
Good call.
Right?
Good call,
You're right, Carey.
Okay.
Where we at OPS?
Yeah, 27th.
Oh.
Got any other ones?
That's better.
It is better.
Hey,
It ain't
you
dead
know
last.
what? To hell with batting average. OPS is that stinks. But where they are in home run, where are they in home run Johnsons?
Okay.
In those home run Johnsons, ding dong Johnsons,
Ding-dong
as some people
Johnsons.
call them. They're tied for 17th.
Yeah.
They had 13 home runs this spring. There are also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other teams tied for 17.
So
Detroit FX with a great point. A great point. He goes, I love how they bailed out, or they balled out, I think is what he meant. I love how they balled out for offense after the 2019 season. The offense has been terrible. He's absolutely right. Eggplant emoji chimes in again. He hates me. Anthony, if you don't think the Cardinals will have a great offense, you can go fast lane yourself.
I think we end on that.
Yeah, I think so too. Because we got to talk to Chevan Cordeiro. We're going to complete the Battlehawks trifecta of interviews next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis and Jamar from Anthony Stalter. And joining us right now via the Callier and Thompson phone line is Battlehawks quarterback Chevan Cordeiro, who is in training camp right now with the Battlehawks. And we've chatted with some of his teammates over the last couple of days. So we're pleased to have Chevan on right now. Chevan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. What's this journey been like for you as a player that you competed at San Jose State? I know that you were in the NFL for a time as well, and now you're doing your thing with the Battlehawks. What's this journey been like for you for your career?
It was definitely up and down. I started at Hawaii and then transferred to San Jose State because of the coaching change, and I got released by Seahawks, and it's been up and down. But I'm just blessed and grateful that the Battlehawks gave me an opportunity to compete and play the sport that I love.
Now, Chevan, I was an undrafted fullback, so I definitely understand the road and how hard it is to get there and stay there. You have an opportunity now in the UFL. What's the most? What are you looking forward to most in competing for this job with the Battlehawks?
Just being able to compete again and, throw the football around. I didn't do that in a whole year, and, I just been watching football, on my couch, and, I'm just, hungry to just play again and just enjoying it, enjoying the moment, being able to play and compete and just have fun again.
Chevan, when it comes to working with this offense and the Battlehawks, the wide receiver group over the last couple of years has been fantastic. Have they stood out in camp? And if so, who's really stood out to you?
I feel like, obviously it's only been, I think, day 4, day 5, and, we all got to still click and, get comfortable with all the receivers. But, there's always, like Hakeem Butler from last year, he stands out, and, everyone in the room stands out. They're all different. And we just got to keep gelling and working hard and getting better.
Chevan, now you were, as Anthony said, you were at San Jose State. You were Mountain West Player of the Year. Tell me about Mountain West First Team Player and Preseason Offensive Player of the Year. What is your favorite route to throw and why?
Obviously a deep ball. I love scoring touchdowns, but I love throwing any route. I can throw any route, and when no route is open, I can use my feet and extend plays. So I feel like that's what I bring to the table. And I'm just enjoying the moment and just having fun playing football.
Chevan Cordeiro of the Battlehawks joins us right now here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Chevan, what can you tell us about the new Battlehawks offense? Because we've watched it over the last couple of years, but now Bruce Krakowski has gone to the NFL. You guys got a new offensive play caller. What can you provide fans with just in terms of an insight?
Just know that it's going to be well balanced and it's going to be exciting. We're gonna air the ball out and then be able to run the ball. So, at the end of the day, you're going to have to be able to run to open up the pass. And, just let the fans know that, it's going to be a high-scoring offense.
Now, Chevan, you're from Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm actually going to Hawaii in a couple of weeks, so if you have any tips of anywhere I need to go in Honolulu, please pass them along. I'm looking forward to it. You were teammates with Tua Tagovailoa. What was that experience like? And do you and Tua still speak?
I backed up Tua, and I always thought about transferring, but at the end of the day, my dad was like, you should just stick around and keep going to St. Louis, and backing him up was probably a blessing for me because I got to watch what he did good at and what he did bad at, and Tua coming out of high school, he was a 5-star, and he was a good guy to just stick around and be able to learn from. And, we don't really talk right now. Obviously he's busy and I'm busy. And, he's a cool guy and, he's a good guy to learn from.
Chevan, what's it like playing for our guy Anthony Becht?
He's a solid head coach. He's a player's coach. That's what you like. A guy that can, when it's time to focus in and, lead the team, he's going to do it. And, he'll play around, crack some jokes in the team meeting too. So he's a guy that really cares about his players, and it's been a good 5 days.
Excellent. Well, we'll let you get back to the grind. We appreciate the time, Chevan. Good luck in training camp. I'm looking forward to seeing you in St. Louis here in a couple weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. That's Chevan Cordeiro of the Battlehawks. Thank you, Chevan. so now we've had all three guys on. You had Max Duggan, and you had Manny Wilkins. This is a group that they all have one common trait, and it's they're dual threat quarterbacks. That's their background, is that they're dual threat quarterbacks. And when we first got the news that the Battlehawks are going to move on from A.J. McCarron, we were all like, well, why?
Shock and all.
Yeah, because AJ gave the Battlehawks a clear advantage when it came to pre and post snap, because he played in the league. He's got experience. I mean, the Bengals have also, they've taken him on several times. This is somebody that can really beat you pre and post snap. But the one thing A.J. McCarron really didn't do much of was run. And if you look at most of the signal callers in the UFL, most guys have some mobility. Not all of them, but most of them got that mobility to them. I think Anthony Becht, based on the fact that he's got these three guys, Wilkins, Duggan, and Cordeiro, he is looking for more mobility out of that spot. It almost seems like he's willing to some degree, punt that pre-snap, I know what they're in, for more of that explosive play when the play breaks down.
Yeah, I mean, it and it's bound to happen at any level, right? The offensive line may miss a block, running back doesn't pick up a guy, quarterback doesn't realize that that's an unblocked defender. How do you get out of it? You are able to extend plays when you're athletic enough to scramble and keep your eyes downfield or use your legs to pick up yards. So, it's one of the things that I think you're seeing also. You're seeing more of a transition in the NFL game of guys that are capable of doing that as well. Josh Allen is one. Lamar Jackson, like even Patrick Mahomes, a guy that is a pocket passer, but is really effective when he scrambles and rolls out. So you're seeing more athletic quarterbacks that are capable of doing those things, and it's really beneficial because it's hard for a defensive coordinator to prepare for a mobile quarterback. You essentially got an extra guy when you use that quarterback in the running in the run game. So I think it's good for Anthony Becht to keep that quarterback safe and protected and allow him to do what he can do with his legs.
I think the biggest question for me is who's going to be that guy? Like, is it going to be a game-by-game situation where you look at the play of each quarterback and then maybe you're moving on to the – because I feel like all three of these guys could step into that role.
Who are you guys most intrigued by?
We saw Manny last year. I've never seen Chevan play. So I don't know what he brings to the table. We've seen Max Duggan on the highest level playing in the national championship game. So you kind of have a reference of who they are and what they are. But I'm intrigued to see all three of them because it's essentially they're starting from scratch. They don't have a starting quarterback, in my opinion. I think they all are on the same level, on the same tier. And that's why I was asking them, what are you most excited about for this competition? Because if it's truly a competition and the best man wins and all things are equal, I'll take that every single day. If I go into a situation and the coach says, I don't have a starter, y'all three figure it out. Bet. Good. Ooh, yep. Good luck to you boys. It's gonna be fun watching because I know if all things are equal, I'm going to win because I'm going to compete and I'm not going to have the mistakes. I'm not going to have the mental errors. I'm going to just show up every single day. And it's hard when you put pressure on people like that because eventually they start making mistakes and you just stay steady and do your job. So if I'm him and all things are equal, I'm excited about it.
Do you think it's a bad thing that all three quarterbacks profile to be the same type of quarterback? Because like we just talked about, if you do have a guy that isn't doing as well, maybe you want a different look because a different type of quarterback brings something different to the table. Now that they're all three somewhat of the same type of quarterback, does that give you any pause?
I think it's a great question. I see where you're going with it. I think it's better to have three guys that are the same because if that guy fits, if that's the offense you want and it's dual threat, imagine think about these NFL teams that have a dual threat guy as the starter and then a statue as the backup.
Like Joe Flacco or Kirk Cousins.
Right. I'm not suggesting it doesn't work because we have seen instances where like Kirk Cousins steps in for Washington and RG3 and he's fine. But I think if you want to have a certain, if that is what you're committed to at that position, great. Bring in three guys that profile that way. and you hope that you can find a steady starter out of it. But no, and CD, I mean, you've called offenses. Do you want your quarterback to be the exact same?
Because what it does is it limits you. If I got a mobile quarterback as my starter, and then I got a guy that cannot do those things, now I have to.
You're chucking out half your playbook.
Half of it, because some of it is rollout, some of it is run game with the quarterback. He's capable of doing those things. And then I got another guy who's completely different. He's a true pocket passer. My offense is different now. And that's not the offense that I'm accustomed to. Same thing if it's flipped. If I got a pocket passer and his backup is more mobile, it helps because you can add him in the run game. But it's hard when the starter is a mobile quarterback and the backup is in the pocket quarterback.
I think an example you could use is a few years ago with the Baltimore Ravens when Lamar went down and they brought in Tyler Huntley. They almost won a playoff game against the Bengals because he profiles as somewhat of the same type of quarterback who can use his legs. And you don't really have to go against your playbook as much as maybe some other teams had to.
Yeah, if you didn't stick the ball out in the goal line and was it Sam Hubbard or was it? I think it was Sam Hubbard that went the distance. Yep. He's either him or Hendrickson.
It was Hubbard. I think it was Hubbard.
It was Hubbard? Well, now they likely won't have either of them. That Bengals defense from the Super Bowl is basically gone.
Yeah, it's a good thing they have an elite offense, though, right?
Hey, they're going to win. They're going to win a lot of games, 40-39. They're going to lose a lot of games, 40-39. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we saw it this year.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, Marsh, you're saying that was stank because of what CD and I were talking about last week.
Just saying.
What did we say last week?
Remember, we were like, we want the elite. You and I were like, give me the elite something. And Marshall's like, I want a balanced roster so I'm not the Cincinnati Bengals. So now he's trying to stick it right up our fast lane.
Yeah. He get bounced in the first round with average team. If you make it.
If you make it.
If you feast or famine.
Yeah. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got Bet the Board next.
Fellas, it's Carey Davis, and if you could benefit from a little extra in the bedroom, sometimes we all can. Blue Chew can help you. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription, and they are an online prescription service. You probably know that, so there are no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. It doesn't take long to get there. Trust me, I'm telling you. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than the pharmacy. And if you're ready for a great offer, how about free? Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use our promo code WXOS at checkout. Pay $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code WXOS, and you receive your first month free. Then you can chew it and do it. Fellas, listen to me. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better. Blue Chew, it's your secret weapon in the bedroom or wherever you want to get it on. Turn oh no into oh yes. BlueChew.com, promo code WXOS, and get your first month free and $5 for shipping. So BlueChew.com, get ready to chew it and do it.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues stand pat at the trade deadline. Doug Armstrong talked to the media earlier today. If you missed that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find that press conference. You'll also find all of our full shows and interviews there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues take on the Anaheim Ducks tonight. 8 o'clock pregame for you, 9 o'clock puck drop. Of course, you can listen to all the coverage right here on 101 ESPN. We have Bet the Board coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Jamie Rivers ditched us earlier today for the Blues coverage.
Gotta work.
Yeah. I thought this was work.
Well, you have multiple jobs. I have a job where I call Illini football games.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
You do. You do a great job with that,
Thank you, sir.
I told you the one time I was driving around. It was a Saturday. I went to the grocery store, and as I was driving back, had the Sirius, whatever channel it was on. It was just happened to be on. All of a sudden, I heard Carey Davis's voice. I go, "What in the fast lane is going on? Should I be at work right now?" No, it was a Saturday, Marsh, and Carey was calling the Illini bowl game.
What?
The bowl win.
Yeah.
A dub.
A dub.
For the Fighting Illini.
Gamecocks.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Fire up Illini.
Fire up Illini. Yeah. All right. What do we got for the latest Bet the Board standings, Marsh?
All right.
Wow.
Steph Curry. What a day for him.
Oh, no, you went spite. You went spite. That's right.
I knew it when I did it. I said it. I said, this is terrible. This is spite at its best.
I completely forgot about that.
I did it, and it didn't work out.
Oh, man.
Did not,
and it shouldn't have, because it was just spite.
It was just spite. It has not. I don't think spite has won yet.
It hasn't, and that should be a lesson to everyone listening. Don't be spiteful.
Don't be spiteful.
That's
joyful.
for me, too. Right,
grateful.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So I have 3 points.
Okay.
Carey has 2. Anthony, unfortunately, the over in your game did not hit. I think it missed by 6 or 7 points.
Who would have known? 3 is, I think the total was 450.
You said it was high.
I'm like, didn't realize it was that high.
And those Philadelphia Flyers, man, they continue to lose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That stinks.
That stinks for Jamie. All right, so Jamie's got 1 point.
Jamie has 1 point, yes.
All right, so
You
Marsh,
got 2?
I got 2. You and I are deadlocked.
So
Because of spite.
I had a little insider talk to me earlier today.
He's cheating.
What?
This guy likes college hoops. He likes Bet the Board. He also has great hair. Just got a haircut. Not you, though.
Oh, thanks.
He sits at this he sits in this chair.
You could join the snake pit today. They were talking about my hair.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
But
a couple of huge Asolis in the snake pit today.
Jackson Pittles Burkett said, I really like this play. Purdue, Illinois, over 159.5.
Okay.
That's a tall total.
Going against my Illini.
No, he wouldn't do
have
that.
to tell old Jackson, not so fast, my friend.
Now, if it's wrong, I'll never listen to him again. But he likes basketball more than I do, so I'm going to take his advice on this one.
I think that's fair.
More than he does, yet he took my pick yesterday, huh? This guy.
That doesn't mean I don't like basketball. I just don't like basketball as much as he does.
That pissed me off so bad.
You did know it.
So bad.
You knew it. As soon as you said it, you're like, I shouldn't do this.
I shouldn't. And I was watching it. I'm like, and so I was conflicted.
Yeah.
As I'm watching this game, I'm like, all right, because the Warriors were down like 22-5, 25-5. They were down by 20.
It's good game script for
early
me.
in the game. I'm like, he's not going to get it. But I want the Warriors to win. I'm a Warrior fan, right?
Right.
So I'm conflicted. Like, all right, Steph, you can go for, I don't know, 21, couple of assists, couple of rebounds, and let everybody else do the work. Steph hit a half-court shot at halftime. I was like, oh, God, it's over now. He's going to heat up. Like, he just literally turned, shot it, went in, and it was still time on the clock. He went to the locker room. I hate it. God. Every shot was made. I was like, ugh, yeah, damn it. It was torture.
Pass it. Just don't even pass it. Don't give him the ball.
Listen, I was so excited. He passed a couple of them, and the guy got fouled and missed the layup, so he's going to the line. I'm like, it's not an assist.
Yeah.
Get the points, but not the assist.
Let's go Warriors. Not you, Steph. All right, so what's your play?
I'm going Kevin Durant over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
All right. I'm going to take, I'd mentioned our guy Swan the other day, and Swan was delivering some good picks the other night with Maryland over Michigan. Swan said he likes St. John's tomorrow against Marquette. I'm going to ride the hot guy in Swan and take St. John's +2 against Marquette. Yeah, I said it. All right. Did Jamie text any of you guys his pick? Did one of you guys get that
I was
pick?
looking for it.
I'm looking for it too.
I thought I saw.
I can look at my phone here.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, he likes the Blackhawks tonight. Wow. He likes the Blackhawks tonight +145. They're hosting Utah.
Oh, I thought he was going to go with Pittsburgh against Vegas. But I guess he likes the Blackhawks.
Yeah, no, he likes the Blackhawks. Yep. He's a big Chicago guy. You've heard him talk about it.
Well, I mean, the Blackhawks did beat down on the Kings the other day, so
yeah. Well, he watched it. He took notes.
Yeah.
And then Jamie said, "Give me them Hawks."
You know what? Can I backtrack? Because I forgot it was the weekend.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to Warriors -5.5.
Whoa.
No? If no, I just say no. I mean,
I'm good with it.
Sorry, Marshy.
I'm good with it.
You know what? I'll allow it since I screwed you over yesterday.
You definitely
You
did.
really did. You just picture. It was your turn. You picked.
Can we be honest?
That is true.
There was some spite when he did it.
No, there wasn't.
I don't think he. I don't think so.
No.
You know why I know that?
Why?
Because he won.
Well, nah, I think he did it because I said the Vikings weren't going to be good next year. He's been holding on to that.
No, that actually
for 2
played
days.
no role into why
You are just a very sweet young man, and I don't like it.
Yeah, he is.
You're freaking nice.
You know why, Carey? Because at the beginning of the month, you picked Steph Curry over 35.5 points, rebounds, assists. I'm thinking there's no way that happens again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now that I'm on the Carey Davis model with the PRA, he was the most reliable player, in my opinion, to hit his number.
You're not wrong.
I believe Marsh.
You're not wrong.
I believe him.
And then I went
for
and
40.
said it. And as I was saying it, I turned around and looked at Carey.
He looked me
had
right in the
this face, and then it dawned on me. Oh my goodness!
You
I just
understood
stole
what
his
you
pick.
did.
I stole his pick, but it happened in real time.
And you did it just because it was your pick.
It was
I
the
did.
look at me, though, as he said it. He turned.
It was more of like, I wonder if Carey is going to go with this.
Marsh actually just had his normal face.
He turned
but
his
you
head.
saw him turn and give you some dirty look.
And in Carey's mind, I turned without my body moving. It was just my head.
It was.
Like an owl or like a creepy doll in a scary movie. Where the head just turned.
And looked right at me.
And looked right at Carey.
Oh, is that where you were going?
Sorry about it. Yeah, and I am sorry, Marsh. He treats you that way. But hey, Dem's the rules. You can pick whatever you want.
Yeah.
And he can be spiteful.
It's okay.
You know what? And I probably would have went with him again if, Jackson didn't come in and tell me what I should go with.
Very true.
So,
all right, let's wrap up this show. Head into the weekend. Next on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. The podcast, as always, is brought to you guys by the Schaefer Door Company. All right. Who would like to lead us off with what we learned?
I learned that Dallas Cowboys may not care about you.
What?
Dallas Mavericks don't give a damn about you.
True.
The Dallas Stars are trying to win it all.
Yeah, that's true.
They're trying to, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Cowboys, man. Mavericks,
definitely
go
not.
fast lane yourself.
Yep.
Trent, best player.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of town.
Dallas Stars, though.
Dallas Stars, bring in the
They got
Stars.
your back.
There you go.
Yeah. Marsh?
I learned that, people like pitting our teams against each other, and it's a very unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it ruined my day by any means, but it
kind of ruined your day.
Well, kind of. Like, I almost teared up a little bit knowing that, people are so for the Cardinals and against the Blues, and, maybe others are so for the Blues and against the Cardinals. Like, it's just, it's very discouraging, and it makes me want to kind of crawl into a ball or, get into a little ball and cry the rest of the night and ruin my weekend because of it. It just ruined my day.
CD shared some really great life advice earlier. Can I do the same for you right now?
Yes.
Hurt people.
Oh, what?
This is true.
Everybody that was doing that earlier is dealing with pain right now in their lives. And they're projecting. Carey, you and I talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
People love to project.
They do.
They're not feeling good about themselves. Well, guess who's getting it?
Somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody close to them usually, too.
Typically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think I speak for all of us when I say those people are scumbags. Yeah. All right. What I learned today is that the Cardinals really lighting it up in spring training offensively.
Is that what you learned?
Well, no, I meant they're lighting up the stat sheet. Like they're literally just setting it on fire and then not hitting it.
Well, it's just
not
spring
hitting the ball.
training, though, right?
It certainly is. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't count for anything.
Did we find out who was leading the majors in batting average and OPS?
Oh, I didn't look at that part. I had to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Look and see.
That's tough.
Let's take a look.
I just
Your
assumed.
finger okay?
Oh,
Doing
my
all
finger.
this
My
scrolling?
finger's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's fine. It hurts a little bit.
You know,
Sure.
you don't need to know.
Yeah, I'll play through it.
Do you want to know?
Good work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chicago Cubs.
Ooh.
Batting average.
Oh, come on, man.
No, they're not first. They're 29th, you said?
The Chicago Cubs?
Yeah.
No, they're first in batting average.
Well, it doesn't matter. Though.
It doesn't matter. It's only spring training.
Yeah.
All right, Marsh, what do we got for criticisms and compliments?
Yeah, we got one from the 314. I'm so bummed that Stalter got a random trivia win. LOL.
I did probably ruin a lot of people's day.
You might have.
There's a lot of people that really want me to get, they want me to get random trivia. It lifts them up. Well, I'm sorry I crapped on your rug today.
You could at least made it to the stall.
Why you got to crap on a rug?
Yeah, why'd you stop? If you're in the house, and that sounds pretty intentional. Like, it doesn't sound accidental.
No, I meant to crap in on somebody's rug today if they wanted me to lose in the gauntlet.
I thought you said, I'm sorry that I did crap on your rug. Which I think you did if you won and they wanted you to lose.
Exactly.
But my question is, why just stop there? You walked in the house, you saw a rug. You didn't want to go to the bathroom?
Well, why would I do that? Why would I take a dump in their toilet when I could just take a dump on the rug and really tick them off?
Okay.
It's true.
Okay.
Important question here from the 314. Is it still okay to blame BK, or is that wrong?
Maybe okay.
Nah, I think you could.
Yeah, I think if they lose tonight, there'll definitely be some more heat. For sure.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just saying if. I'm just saying if, Hopefully they win.
Jason said Anthony Saladice just had this experience with a Diamondback in a Cardinals Facebook group today. Sorry, Jason. Sorry you had that, man.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day goes to taking deep breaths before talking.
Yeah.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
No, we're not for that one.
Our 1st star of the day can't beat this. Can't beat this guy. He's detailed in every aspect of his life. Way better than Indiana Jones. That is Reacher.
Yeah,
yes.
Reacher. Yes. I'll clap for that, that's for sure. Eggplant emoji, by the way, just noted that it wasn't the win that got him. It was the fact that I didn't watch Indiana Jones.
That's your homework for this weekend.
No chance. For Andrew Marsh, for Jamie Rivers, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Blues hockey tonight. See ya.